How you
What up?
doing?
What up? What up? What up? The GRG podcast is doing it live. We are here, ladies and
Woo!
gentlemen. Thank you guys. We apologize that we're late. With somebody had to make a special fruity drink with Jolly Ranchers and Zima, and we all know who that is on this podcast in this crew, and it's not the guests.
So it's you?
No, I mean, I'm just waiting for him to say something.
You
Anyway,
messed up yourself.
so what's going on, everybody, man? We're here to do this thing, man. Another episode, man. Blessing, and we're about to do this, man. Big shout out to everybody that's here, and for the people that will be coming in here later. I made this promise that I will not start sipping on my adult beverage until probably an hour after the show gets started because I was told that I get too relaxed. And so therefore I need to stop being so relaxed towards the end of the show. Anyway, so let's get to it, man. Let's welcome our guests, man. Hey, for the first time, man, I'm glad for this individual to be here. It's great. Hopefully it will not be the last time. Member of the GWG podcast, Grown Women Gaming in the House. They're doing big things out there, man. You guys got to check them out every Saturday morning. And so I'm going to let L Boogie go ahead and let you guys know a little bit about what she do and what they do out there. So what's going on with you, L Boogie? Thank you for coming on to GRG tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's nice. I'm glad to be here. You guys seem like you're trying to behave for me.
Listen, whatever whatever you've been told about GRG, we're here.
Oh, okay. Those are all lies.
Those misconceptions,
No.
misconceptions.
You know how he doesn't
You know,
admit that it's a lie? He's like misconceptions.
misconceptions. Listen,
uh-huh.
listen. I mean, because two of the ladies that's out there that's out there that formed the mighty
Hmm.
GWG. You know what I'm saying? They have been a part of GRG, and the thing of it is that what? Maybe there was some things that was going on at those times. Those times are over. You know what I'm saying? We
Oh,
have
okay.
rehabilitated
I
as a
see.
podcast. We have evolved into something a lot more. Um, I don't know. But anyway, regardless of that, we are on our best behavior. Anyway, so what's going on with you? Hey, talk a little bit about your podcast and where those everybody can find you at.
All right. Well, I am one fourth of GWG podcast, which is Grown Woman Gaming Podcast. And we come to you guys live every Saturday morning.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're just four people talking about video games.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to the ladies out there. I'm sure we'll see a couple of them pop up in here into the chat.
Oh, they already here.
Are
Don't
they already
worry.
here? Oh, I see Lady Infamous. Oh, give it up. Bzzz. Oh,
They
okay, never
already
mind.
here. Represent.
Okay, so all right. So, and Delilah and Sharice, big shout out to you guys. All right, so let's go to somebody who has been on GRG, but it's been on a little hiatus, and we glad that the brother is back. Can't wait to get his expertise, and also he has brought his empire. So again, welcome back, So Shady. What's happening with you, brother?
Oh, what is not happening, man? I am feeling damn good back on GRG again. I love coming on the show. Been a big fan for multiple years. Tune in every week. Like you said, I took the pandemic off of podcasting. I thought I'd just spend my time with friends and family. I also wanted to avoid any of the rumors and drama that was just rampant in the community. I'd rather sit back and wait for everything to come out, which more or less it is, unless you're Sony. But super happy to be here, man. Got a lot to say. So much has happened. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
I heard, I heard your job at ShopRite. It took all of your time. What's good with them packing them bags, Shady?
Ooh, what?
What? You got? Hold on. You got a mouthful of Zima, a mouthful of Jolly Ranchers in your mouth, and you over here talking. What's going on? What did you just say?
Nothing.
Oh my
Oh, I
goodness.
did. I did want to
That's
say
my.
actually that I had some amazing news the other week. I have a big time investor in the Sesh Empire, someone in the community who's
Woo.
just tired of seeing me drag my ass, and they reached out and are providing the equipment I'm going to need to get my own YouTube channel finally going. So I hope to have that up and running sooner than later. There's 100+ of you guys sitting around waiting on ground level, zero content. So I'm hoping to have something up like really soon. I'm very excited about that. And for everyone wondering, right now only you can find me on Twitter at the Sesh Empire.
Yes, that's it. That's it right now. I've seen you pop up around on other people's podcasts. I think you were the last one you was on was Dreadpool, wasn't it?
No, it was with Invader on
Oh,
TXR.
it's Invader. It's Invader.
Yeah.
Yes, right. That's right. Because I was listening to Dreadpool, and they had I think they what did they have on there? I forgot. I don't know. I listen to a lot of podcasts here lately. just listening around and stuff like that. But I don't really comment that often. I might say something every once in a while.
You
Uh,
lurk.
but yeah, I lurk because
Yeah, I gotten onto that as well. I've started
yeah,
to realize that things I say tend to get carried away with some people. So
yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
in someone else's show, unless I've been there for a long time, I'll usually lurk, maybe leave a comment if I enjoyed the show or whatnot. But I'm
yeah.
not in the comment section as much as I used to, just shooting the shit with everybody because it just causes a lot of problems.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That is
Both of y'all,
definitely true.
both of y'all podcast stalking?
Yeah. I mean, I do that like you don't ever see me say anything on the Iron Lords podcast. I just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and when I'm watching GWG, I'll sit there and I'll watch it. Sometimes I won't say nothing because I'm over usually playing the game or something. Or there might be times that I just overslept because I stayed up too late. But the other times that I go and I'll be in there and I might not say something. And there's times I might just be in the chat just hardcore. It's just how I feel, So I do show support. That's I think that's overall. I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, but yeah, no, I'd rather lurk. I'd rather lurk because you can't get mixed up into some crazy stuff because people are just waiting to just want to jump on people and say something negative, and it's really crazy. But anyway, let's get on to the rest of the crew. PK, what's going on with you, brother? What's happening? I know that you got some things in the works yourself, but what's happening, man? And I know that you're going to be talking about some Nintendo here in a little bit.
First of all, you don't have no crystal ball, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, I'm just joking. What's good? What's good? Good energy. I ain't trying to bring that negative energy in this show. We doing the good. We're gonna have a good conversation today, and I'm pretty happy, man. It's been the past all of September and beginning October. It's just been too much onslaught of Xbox news, and we definitely gonna get into it.
No doubt. We're going to get into a lot of it. Moving on, man. Our main man, Six Slayer. I call him Slick. What's going on with you, Slayer? What's happening with you, bro? What you been up to?
Slicker than your average every day, even on an off day. But this week ain't been as crazy as the past month has been. Where every, let's say, Monday or so, there's a news drop of some event that happens, a purchase, a reveal that just blows your mind for the rest of the week. And we had like a month of that. And this week ain't been as crazy, but already, there's some rumorings about certain things that's going to happen. We might even discuss that later on. But this week's been quite relaxing in comparison to the past month. And I think I need that little break because it's about to get crazy real soon.
Yes, real soon. No doubt about it. All right, and last but not least, man, my main man sipping on something sweet.
Facts.
Whoa, what you sipping on, bro? What are we sipping on? And people in the chat, what is your adult beverage? It can be anything from water, milk, soda, orange juice, a pina colada. It doesn't matter. Let us know what you're sipping on. And what
Kool-Aid
you're
with mad sugar.
Yeah, whatever. But Lemon, what are you sipping on tonight?
Listen, man, shout out to my boy 100 who put me on to something that's banned in Cali. I got that 190 proof Everclear. Let's go.
But what else is in that Everclear? Because we know that you ain't man enough to just take Everclear straight.
First of all,
no chaser.
there is no man on this planet that's man enough.
Oh, I used to drink Everclear without nothing.
Yep. That's why you ain't got no sense.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's how I lost my hair. Anyway,
that'll do it.
Yeah, no, I used to in my 20s. I used to sip on Everclear, and I used to 151 proof, no chaser, just straight, just shot it up. That was crazy, bro. Crazy. I'll never do that shit again in my life. So
your poor liver.
Man, that's why I had to stop drinking for a long time because of that. Because I was like, Lord have mercy, I'm gonna go crazy. So
I worked in the nightclub industry for the better part of a decade, man. You want to talk about putting down the hard liquor? Woo, it was a job for a long time, man. But
so
you got to step out of that for a while.
Yeah, you got to step out of it, man.
No.
The hottest stripper, the hottest.
JD, use your stripper.
The hottest,
Whoa! All right. Well, that's how we didn't know. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yay! Thank God there's a woman in the show. On the show. All right.
Well, let me stop y'all from being foolish.
No. Okay, thank you.
You know I am. I don't care.
All right. So thank you. Let's roll it back in. All right. So Lemon, what's been going on with you, brother?
Life is good, man. It's happy to be here. It's another wonderful Friday. Shout out to every 68 people. Get them likes up. Let's go.
Get the likes up. People will
Small
start
things is
rolling
what
in here a
matter,
little bit
baby.
later.
Let's get it. Let's get
Yes.
these topics done, man. I'm excited.
All
Always
right,
excited.
let's go. All right, so let's get started right off the bat, man. Okay, so PK, I wanted to talk because really nobody else really. I didn't watch it. I didn't pay attention to it, and it's not no disrespect to Nintendo, but I did see that the Minecraft characters are going to be in Smash Brothers. I looked at that and I said, what happened was, and so please, PK, explain what you've seen and give people a little bit of insight. You know what I'm saying? This is your time, your floor. You know what I'm saying? So let us go. What do you think about what Nintendo showed?
So, it wasn't traditional, right? They just showed a reveal trailer, which traditionally Sakurai does an in-depth character um, uh, overview, which he won't do until the 3rd. I'm not sure why they pushed that off 3 days, but they did. So tomorrow he'll do an in-depth character reveal. But this is what people don't realize. Even though Nintendo waited until this week to reveal Steve from Minecraft, you have to think about this. This is a Microsoft character, the second rep on Smash. Why did they wait until now to do this? Or maybe they didn't wait. Maybe this was planned all along. And maybe this is part of the hype train that continues to keep giving from September. And um, honestly, this is one of the characters that was, and I would say it maybe how most, I won't say you may know, but a lot of times when it comes to Smash characters, everyone is got like uh, a poll going on what's the next character, right? And before Banjo Kazooie, everyone thought it was Steve, and then Banjo Kazooie came and was blown away. But now we have Steve confirmed. And Nintendo knows all the characters they're going to bring out in this season pass. So they already know, they have it all planned. I'm not sure if they all done, but most of them are, at least according to Sakurai. It's just he can't reveal them until Nintendo tells him to. So it's always intentional. So I take it as Microsoft news because this is solidifying. I mean, even the Xbox Twitter page was tweeting this. Even on their YouTube page, they're celebrating this. Like you got to see that as like advertisement, right? And that's kind of how I took it. It was like it's not just an extra Smash character. It is Steve from Minecraft. It's this. It could have been anybody, but it wasn't anybody. It was someone specific. So, sorry, Chris, but yeah, Minecraft is a Microsoft product, and just because it is on multiple platforms, it's still owned IP. So it is a Microsoft representation, just like Banjo Kazooie was. But to put it out there, Nintendo will not put any characters in Smash unless they appeared on their console. So that's advertisement for the game. So there must be some new Minecraft stuff coming down the pipeline for the Nintendo platform.
All right. Okay. So do anybody
Hold
have?
on, hold on, hold on. I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I watched that because I'm a adamant Switch player. PK's explanation of that character was longer than Nintendo's presentation. Give him a round of applause. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh
Yes.
man. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if that's a
yes,
slide at
okay.
me or a slide at Nintendo.
I don't know. It's a,
A little
it
bit
is
of
a
column A, a little bit of column B.
I think it's a little bit of both. So anybody want to talk about anything that they've seen from Nintendo or even what they heard from
It was
PK
nothing
about
to
Nintendo?
see. It was a
nothing to see.
minute.
Okay,
It
all
was
right.
not
Yeah, it
a
was just
minute
a
and
character
40
reveal.
seconds.
That's why I said I want to give it
We'll
the
have
floor.
more. Tomorrow we'll have more. But
Okay.
the bottom line is the underlying value is it is a Microsoft character being advertised on a Nintendo platform, and it's going to go in depth tomorrow. Why did they choose this character at this time? Do you understand what I'm saying? The Fighter Pass has 7 characters, and this is the second one. They didn't have to bring him out now, but they decided to, and that's my point.
Okay. All right. All
Oh, so
right.
you trying to? Well, hold on. You trying to imply that certain corporations are in cahoots?
We have went 3 minutes too long on this subject that nobody cares about.
I'm just saying,
I mean, our guests are very quiet. So, all right. So let's.
Well,
So,
I got something I can say on
oh,
it.
okay.
I
Go
mean,
ahead. Go ahead.
I did watch the trailer, and I don't play a lot of Smash, but my buddies do.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, it kind of looked like it was more than just a character and a stage. It almost looked like they were adding like a new way to play, a new mode or something like that. Like it just looked like it was more than a stage looking like Minecraft and Steve and the other skins. It felt like there was something kind of more going on there. So maybe that's why it's a big addition, not just a character.
I know that they're hype. I do know
my
that.
God, Jay, my God, don't feed into it.
Well, no. But I know. No. It's huge. They said that the internet shut down because I seen it
Apparently.
late, and they said that the internet just shut down. I mean, you got to give it to Nintendo fans. They really are. They are the true gamers that love their IPs. You know what I'm saying? More than anybody else. So so it's one of those things where you got to give them props for. That's why I wanted to give PK the segment to just say what he wanted to say about it, because I knew I didn't have really too much to say about it. So anyway, L Boogie, do you have anything you wanna say about this?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't really play Smash though, so I don't know.
Thank you, Boogie. Good looking.
I'm just saying.
You know what? You know what?
I play
Lemon, after
Smash
the
and
show,
I don't care. I play
Lemon, after the
Smash and
show,
I
you
don't
gonna
care.
get on Smash and we gonna play together.
First
We
of all,
gonna
you're better than me.
broadcast that.
I didn't say I
We gonna
was great.
broadcast
I
that.
didn't say I was
No,
good at the game. I just
I'm not.
said
I didn't say all that. We just
Listen,
gonna settle
I stayed
it.
up.
We
I
gonna
stayed up
settle.
late.
You've been yelling at me all day. We gonna settle this on the game.
Listen. I stayed up late.
Man.
I stayed up late. I had a lot of drinks. I woke up with bloodshot eyes to see what Nintendo was gonna bring. When I seen that thing under 2 minutes, I'm mad because I waited. I woke up. I said, you know what? I got to get up and I have to see this. For that, come
This is
on,
what happens
man.
when you believe in Nintendo, man. It's like
Come on,
believing in
man.
Sony.
Yo, listen.
Relax.
I'm fucking.
Yo, listen.
Relax.
No,
No, I can't say that about either
I
company.
just was disappointed because they advertised 5 days in advance. New event, new character, new this.
It's gonna be
It's like-
Thursday.
it's like-
I mean
it's like-
tomorrow.
Nah.
Tomorrow.
Nah,
People who play
No.
Smash are excited for it,
I'm
so
sure,
I mean, it's
yeah.
good for them.
not us.
I play Smash.
I play
Boogie,
Smash.
I play Smash.
But
I
I'm
play
just
Smash.
saying
I'm not as good
it'll
as
be
PK at it,
tomorrow.
but I play it.
Oh well, yeah.
All right.
I
Well.
just was saying it was just short.
Okay, all right. Well, I obviously then really nobody don't want to really get into it too deep. So let's get on
Right.
to the next topic. But yeah, I said I wanted to give it time,
I'm
and
about to
so
get my Ping,
well, PK, next week we'll let you start off the show to talk about
Again.
what Nintendo what they showed and all this, and maybe there'll be a little bit more information going down the line. So all right, let's go. All right, so let's talk about this. This is something that we was going to talk about, but we didn't get a chance to last week, and we were going to talk about those SSD expansion prices and how these will impact the console. So already what we know is for the Xbox, for those Seagate, it's what, 220 bucks?
219.
19.
219.
19. Yep.
Well, you know what I'm saying, with a little, with tax, 220,
With
220,
tax,
225,
Penny off.
225.
Penny off.
Yeah, well, I mean,
233.
233.
Yep.
Whoa, your taxes is crazy. 220.
And mine is 6%.
Yeah,
220.
California is
New
10%.
York.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's gonna
that was
be
actually pretty low.
whoa. So it's gonna be like
it's gonna be like $50
oh,
in Cali
Yeah.
Cali is gonna be $50.
because
Yeah,
it's
Cali's
10%.
different.
I mean,
Oh,
well, it's gonna be
Lord.
like $30.
Man, thank
Yeah.
you
Exaggerating, but-
for the low city stuff out here. It's only gonna be $24. It's gonna be it's gonna be $4. So that's it. It's gonna be $4
I
extra
need
more
to order
dollars.
OKC.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, you need to order them out here at OKC.
No, super chat.
Right.
Super chat. Super chat.
But anyway, the super chat. All right, go ahead and read it for me, brother, because I'm over here.
Emmanuel A1 with the $2 super chat. Shout out to L Boogie, DA in the build. RIP PS5.
Oh,
Man,
wow.
already. And so that's the one thing too that I wanted to talk about as well, is because the PS5, they have a special type of SSD that they have to use. They have a list that's already out, and the prices vary. So I've seen that there's been PlayStation fans that's been out there that's been trying to spin the narrative by saying, well, you can buy this certain SSD for $150, but I think it's only like 250 gigs. Good luck with that. And then on top of that, they've been trying to throw all different types of a different type of STD. I said STDs. SSD. SSDs.
They slinging
So,
STDs now.
well, they
So
are
you
pretty.
see when Sony takes your mind, man.
They are pretty nasty. But anyway,
infamous.
what's she say?
You got a super chat. Oh, now you want to support us back again because your girl on here. You're biased, but we going to take it.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't be messy, my dude.
Oh, don't be messy. Come on.
Messy. We ain't seen her in God knows how many months.
Read the super chat, man.
She was here last week. Oh no, that was Delilah. That was Delilah. Delilah was in last week. Anyway, but we don't know the actual price. We've seen prices anywhere from $250 and all the way from the lowest to about $150, and then also like there's been all different types of SSD expansions that they've shown, and some aren't even compatible with the PlayStation 5. So I'm going to go to our first guest, which is L Boogie. What do you think about this? How much will this impact gamers knowing that they got to spend this much money for these SSD expansions?
I mean, I think you're going to have like a lot of late adopters because people aren't going to want to buy right away after dropping, however much on their consoles. It's a bit much. I mean, even though, these SSDs are modified and whatnot, well, I don't know, Xbox's is, right? It's a modified SSD. It's different from what you can get. It's super compact. So for the money, I think that it's really not, like they're not gouging you, but it's still $250, right? So, that's a couple of games or you get that. So I think that for me, I'm going to just stick with what's on the machine for a little while and shuffle games around until my birthday. And then I'll buy me a external for my birthday.
Nice. And you didn't even read what Lady Infamous said. Let me go ahead and read.
I thought you guys were reading the super chat.
No, I was talking to Lemon because he called it because I wasn't looking.
L Boogie has to speak.
So I have. You want me to read her super chat?
No. I will.
No. It's addressed to L Boogie, so let's go. Go ahead, L Boogie, get it done.
It says I'm about to rotate these games until the price goes down on the SSD. Right. We love you, L Boogie. Right. I don't think that.
That wasn't. I could have read that. Like, you could have read that.
Right.
I know. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Oh, that Everclear's already
made you read it.
Yeah, we should have made you read it.
I would have read it. That's my girl.
Man, put the Jolly Ranchers in the Everclear down.
No, Gummy Bears.
Same thing. All right, so L Boogie, what do you think about the situation with the PlayStation
ones?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to look at which ones they are because like if they have, do they have a Western Digital? Like, who are these makers that are making them? Because you said there's different ranges, right?
Yeah, there's no approved. There's no approved. They're not making them, and there's no approved.
Sony got a list. That's all that they've given out, and it's only
so basically they're like these ones are compatible type of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, and they haven't made the list public yet, or maybe they haven't even started it yet because we really don't know.
Yeah.
Like it has to be approved, even if, and then we don't even know what the expansion looks like because we've never seen it.
So I'm thinking that it's what it sounds like to me is that these are just going to be run-of-the-mill SSD cards, nothing special.
Well, it's not like you can just slot them in either. They got to have a heatsink. So how are they going to do that?
They have to have a heatsink.
No. That's not true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, explain.
What is it?
When I go, I'll explain.
Well, I can't really talk until I know.
No. I'm just saying when it's my turn, I explain. I gotta let people go first,
Well, but you just interrupted and said no.
Okay, this is what it is.
Okay.
The PlayStation, their SSD is a basic SSD, right? In terms of it's a proprietary SSD in terms of their technology, and it's ultra fast, which it is, and they will only approve something that can match what they put into the PS5. Now, we're talking about 1 terabyte here because if you go on any M.2 NVMe drives that's 2 terabytes, we talk about $300 plus.
Yeah.
So nobody's really when dudes complain about Microsoft's price, that's not really a Microsoft price. First of all, 99% of you dudes on the market right now do not have a PCI Express 4 slot on your motherboards. This is a PCI Express 4 slot card. New technology means new money. Now, and so when people say, "Oh, it's too much money," you don't know what too much money is because y'all don't have it. Y'all don't have it on your PCs right now. I just bought a new motherboard for my PC. Sick. We all have this conversation. K Mega, to get that PCI Express port slot on my new motherboard that I just upgraded, it was $479. But if I had took the same board that didn't have a PCI Express slot, it was $200. New technology brings new costs. So if you want to be an early adapter, this is not a regular hard drive. It's not about the size. It's about the speeds, the reads, and the writes. Same thing with PlayStation. It's about the reads and the writes, because NVM2 drives are very, very fast, extremely faster than SSDs. But the higher it goes up in reads and writes, the price get higher, because they got 1 terabyte for $339, $450. Do the average console consumer understand that? They don't understand that. They looking at it, oh, it's just a memory card. It's not just a memory card. This is next level technology. And you want those super fast speeds, you want RTX, you want the velocity architecture, you want ray tracing. If you want the best performance, they're giving it to you. But I've been saying it since last year. If you want to step your game up, it's going to be a financial burden on your pockets. It's not cheap. Now, for those people who think, okay, I'm not gonna get it, I could wait. Yeah, you could wait. But if you like anybody on this podcast, and we buy a ton of games, that it's not even 1 terabyte allocated towards you. You gotta count the operating system. Plus, when it's formatted, it's even smaller than that. So you might have 800 gigabytes available to you.
Yeah, the internal is 802, and I think the external Xbox One is just over 900, which is pretty good. But I mean, no hard drive gives you what they package. If it says a terabyte on the package, you always get less. It's crazy.
Right. So Shady, it's like when you start, we don't even know the size of these next gen games. Call of Duty right now is over 140 gigs.
Right.
Call of Duty is notoriously unoptimized. I swear, it's so much bigger than other games that are massive and they're way smaller. But you are right. Like games are big.
But Lemon, I will get back to you. But you know what I'm saying. But I think that's enough.
I told you I'll wait.
Well, no, that's fine. But you know what I'm saying. But I think now El Boogie can give.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. No, I know you're fine. But you can give some insight now.
I was just gonna say that, you know, for me, then still, I agree with Lemon. But I'm still going to wait. You know, I don't have to get it right away. Right. I know that I'm not going to have to get it in the first couple of months. And like I said, I'm probably going to buy it, you know, by February, because that's when my birthday is. And, you know, I'll be fine. I think that, like Lemon said, if anybody wants to be an early adopter, you want to be able to have that space. You don't want to have to, like, shuffle games around. Then you're going to spend the money. Or don't talk about it. Like,
no doubt. A lady infamous in the chat. Lemon, this is for you. So go ahead and read that, bro.
Yeah,
that's for you.
Hold on.
That's for you.
In the chat?
Yeah, in the chat. Yes.
Super
chat.
Which one? The one that says with the PS5?
No, it's from lady.
Super chat. $1.99.
You're gonna put respect. Yo, you know what? You're right, sis. I'm gonna put respect on your name just because I am not here every show, but I do support. I know you do. The same way I support you on Twitch and all that. I'm just teasing. Man,
yes, she sent out super chat. Said you gonna read what I was saying. You gonna put respect on her name. All right, thank you.
Yo, go sub to my girl channel. She's a great streamer. She play hard games, same as El Boogie. The most 2 competitive women I ever met in my life play multiplayer. I rock with both. That's a fact.
Delilah's pretty damn competitive, but she
try
to be nice with it though.
She's competitive, but she don't really play shooters and stuff.
No, she play fighters though.
We shoulder to shoulder in Apex and Call of Duty. I'm talking about they in the trenches with me.
Oh no. I've seen them in the trenches. I have seen them. So, and that was something that you did forget to mention was your stream, El Boogie.
Oh, my bad. Thanks for reminding me. But it's El Boogie everywhere. If y'all want to follow me on Xbox, Twitter, on PlayStation, my name is El Boogie 0208 everywhere.
All right, cool, excellent. So, what was there was anything else that you wanted to add to that, or what you were saying about like you was just going to wait till February, or you wanted to? I mean, what is it that? Because are you going to get a PlayStation as well, right?
You're talking to me still?
Yeah, I'm talking to you still.
Okay, yeah. I am, but I'm going to get one late. I mean,
okay, all right. So you're going to get the Xbox first, right?
Well, yeah, because you know, everybody, people are going to be mad at me, but I think they have a heat issue. I seriously think they
I
have a heat
agree.
issue.
I agree.
fully.
I think everybody on the panel agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think they have a heat issue. I think they're trying to figure it out still. That's why we haven't seen one yet, because I don't know if anybody else noticed, but there was a little verbiage down at the bottom of that said, the design was subject to change. So yeah, we might be seeing a different PlayStation depending on if they solve that heat issue. But yeah, even Mark Cerny was talking about they have a heat issue. So they have a heat issue, y'all.
You know what the heat
I'd rather
issue
not
come from?
get the first. I don't want to be an early adopter to have a fucked up $500 console.
Their fake ass overclock.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Let's not mince
That's what
words.
it is.
It's literally that.
Well, yeah, you're pushing the machine too hard.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just think about what they're going to do when those games that's going on PlayStation, just on the PlayStation 5. Just think about how that thing is going to be revved up then, because it's not going to be revved up as much because those games are going to be on PlayStation 4. But when they start just going PlayStation 5 only, that thing is going to be kicking in some dirt.
And like you say, like there's no reason to even buy a PlayStation 5 right now, really, because I have a Pro and I'm gonna play Miles Morales on the Pro. Why not?
And Horizon if you want it, and probably God of
you
War
talking
if you
about
want
a
it.
game that they claimed that couldn't be done on PS4 Pro?
Right.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why not just play it there?
And I gotta clarify something real quick. First of all, Christopher Fart, don't come in our chat.
Okay, don't.
No, hold on. Let me say this. Let me say this. No, he's trying to insult our guest. Don't come in
You're
our
trying to insult
chat.
me?
Yeah, don't try to come in our chat and say anything about no guests here when you don't even know your continent, where you belong and where you live. Don't do that.
Okay.
Stay right there and relax.
All right.
Don't get at our guests. Get at us. Don't get at our guests.
All right.
Let's get that out the way.
So let me go ahead and get to the super chat. Rain G4, what's up with your boy? He says Laura Croft will be searching for the PS5 in the next game. Lord have mercy. Y'all so disrespectful. All right. So our next guest, Shady. What do you think about this whole SSD situation, man? Are you kind of agreeing with what you've heard from Lemon and what you've heard from El Boogie, or you have a different take on either one with the pricing?
I more or less agree. I mean, I think there's a big time sticker shock for a lot of just console gamers. Like Lemon said, there's people that are like, this is just a memory card. And it's like, no, it isn't. This is the reason that a lot of this next gen stuff we're going to be doing is capable is because of these SSD drives. And from what I've been looking at, it's relatively competitive price to other SSDs on the market that can do the same stuff. And this thing's the size of a credit card as well, which you have to take into account. Small technology is generally expensive. And this is brand new cutting edge stuff. This and Sonys, like the drives are going to be pricey. And I didn't think they were going to be too pricey for me. I was expecting about $200, but once I knew for 100% fact it was going to be $220 American, that's $300 Canadian where I live. And in the province I live in, we pay 5% tax. So after taxes, I'm looking at $360 for a terabyte.
God, that's why I was posting about that. About the controller, because I was retweeting what somebody was showing.
90, it's right. 90 Canadian for the PlayStation controller.
Yeah, $90 for it. And I didn't say it was from the United States, or I didn't say exactly what. I just said that's just too much money for a standard controller. That's all I said.
It is. I know a lot of, like, if you do the conversion rate, it's pretty close to what it would be. Xbox gives Canadians a break when it comes to hardware. Like, I'm actually paying less when you take the currency exchange into account than you guys are for my Series X. I paid 625 Canadian all in, and if you do the conversion backwards, that's cheaper than $500 American plus tax. Like I'm paying about $30 less. It's awesome. Whereas Sony is priced at $630 for the PlayStation 5 before tax, so they're $30 more expensive than Xbox up here. Like, they don't give us a break, whereas Xbox does as far as the hardware goes. We're already paying $80 for full price games. We've been doing that for a long time. Again, with the currency exchange, $80 is pretty fair, but I don't get paid in American dollars. I get paid in Canadian, so still $80 out of my pocket, which is a lot of money, and it's getting expensive. I would say as a Canadian PlayStation 5 user, you get prepared to pay for the payers big time. But back to the SSDs, I think they are pretty expensive overall, just for your normal console guy, which is what they're being used on. These are being used on a console. They are expensive. I was very happy to see how long it was taking, or how short it was taking actually, to transfer games from current externals including current external SSDs. So if I'm going to spend money on more memory, I think I'm going to buy just an external SSD that isn't the one directly for the X. Like I'll just buy a regular SSD that I can store my games on, and then I'll zip them over to the internal as it goes. Because it was moving like 60 gig in 2 minutes. That's insane. Like, if I wanted to move Call of Duty at 140, that's only 4 minutes. I'll just go and get my smoke sesh started, and the thing's good to go by the time I've hit the bong once. Like, I don't have a problem waiting for 5, 7, 8, 9 minutes even for those gigantic games. I'll just swap them over as I want to play them, and I think I'll do that for a long time. Maybe the whole gen, and I'll just keep buying cheaper external drives because that thing's zipping them over in 4 minutes for the big games. So I'm going to be doing that. But for those guys out there, the big ballers, the dudes that just have money to spend and they're hardcore gamers, they like to have everything available to them at one button press. I expect they're probably going to have a bunch of cards and they're going to have them all, labeled what's on there, what have you, and they'll be plugging them in. It'll be sweet because the more they buy, the quicker the prices will come down for everybody else. I think consoles using these drives is awesome because, it's a big chunk of the next gen experience, and consoles are a big reason why a lot of stuff gets pushed down in cost. They're a big pusher for stuff. So there's way more SSDs being sold. They're going to come down on PC. They'll come down for us. We'll get bigger space for less money later. But right out the gate, I don't think I'm going to need it. I'll just transfer my games.
No doubt. Great point. All right, what about you, Slayer? You agree with everybody on this? And do you have any more information about, pretty much about like the pricing of the PlayStation 5? Because that's the big unknown right now. At least we know what we're going to be doing with the Xbox. But with the PlayStation, what's going on, man? Really, $300? I know it's supposed to be more, but $300? That's crazy.
Yo, I'm about to drop lots of info, and it's going to be dense with info. So if you guys have to rewind later on, I'm just going to have to keep it real quick. Like Jay 2 cents, like Gamers Next. I'm just going to drop a ton of info. You'll just have to catch up later. So, first of all, you're looking at this Xbox drive. It's also PCIe 4, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just like what's in the Sony drive, but it's a 2-lane drive, not a 4-lane drive, okay? It's external, hot swappable, okay? It's got the heatsink that PK was talking about earlier, all built in. Hot swappable, folks, so you don't have to turn your system off to plug it in. You just take it out, plug it in, whatever. Okay, like I guess we're saying earlier, when you format the drive on the external, it's like 920 compared to the internal one that's like 800 and change. And the reason for that is because when you quick save, it doesn't matter if you're playing on the external drive or the internal drive. The quick saves are on the internal drive, and that's why the drive sizes are different. Okay, now with Sony,
minus the operating system.
Yeah, but
when the internal got the operating system, that's another.
Yeah, but not exactly. It does, but there's also a flash chip that's on these Xboxes. That houses that. So if you was to replace your internal drive or whatever, and they could reflash it,
they have a ROM for the OS.
Yeah, there's a ROM with a flash. Yeah,
right.
The reason why that's taken up, and I'm sorry, Sick, for interrupting. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
It's because they do in quick resume. You have to have a partition for that.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
No doubt. It's up to 5 games. Up to 5 games.
Up to 5 games. If you ever mess with a modified Xbox, I know somebody has been doing that recently. You notice that there's drives X, Y, Z, and if you loaded up a game, let's say Doom 3 back then, on the original Xbox, it's got that first load that takes a while. But if you shut the system down, you reload the game, it loads quicker because it's a piece of it on that hard drive. This is way back when. And
the Halo did that huge. The levels take so long at the beginning, and then they were great after that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so they're bringing that back with the quick resume, although, just, take the whole memory and just save it to the drive. Okay.
Right.
Now, contrast to the PlayStation. Now, ever since the PlayStation 2, when they've been adding what you call internal drives, it's always had one drive, right? It's been true with the PlayStation 2, 3, and 4. I expect that to be the same thing with the PlayStation 5, right? If you replace the drive, it's the drive replacing. It's not 2 slots. It's probably, and I could be wrong, folks, it's probably 1 drive. So if you're going to replace the drive in your PlayStation 5, it has to be greater than 1 terabyte. Otherwise, it's not worth doing because you're not going to get anything out of it
Yeah, that's right.
All
They're
the
not going
money
to get
is
any faster. They're not going to get
It's
much
not gonna
faster
get
than what
faster.
they
The drive
have.
isn't larger,
Yeah, so
and
you need the space only.
right. And
Right.
the Samsung drive, the largest size is 1 terabyte, and that's the most likely drive that we've seen thus far. That's probably going to be on the whitelist, and that's if it doesn't have heat issues. You know, if it can't fit inside the PlayStation because the heatsink is too big or whatever. Who knows? It's not just about the performance of the drive. If a drive will be on the whitelist, it's also about the heat. And this is why you were talking earlier about the heatsink that PK was talking about. It has to be able to cool down with the heatsink that's already in the PlayStation, because you can't replace it. You can't put your own. There's no room for that.
Yep.
You see how big the system is, and it needs it all for cooling. And just like El Boogie, I'm concerned about the heat situation, and that's also why I'm not buying the PlayStation for maybe like a year or so.
Well, and heat is the biggest enemy of SSDs, isn't it? The hotter an SSD gets, the slower it goes. So if they're having heat issues in the console, that SSD is going to slow down more than its peak advertising numbers.
Throttling.
Yeah. Throttling. Yes.
And I was going to say really quick, sorry, man. I know there's a narrative going around now to try and shut down how awesome Quick Resume is, because Quick Resume is the shit. And I see a lot of people try and talk like it's nothing, and it's actually taking away hard drive space, that they would rather have that hard drive space on the SSD available to them because they aren't personally going to use Quick Resume. And that's fine. Everyone's entitled to game any way they want. Austin Evans, he's a big YouTuber. He has a Series X. Like, he has one in his hands. I guess he is saying you can disable Quick Resume functionality on the Series X. And if you do, maybe you get that extra space that's been partitioned. You just tell the system, I don't want to use that feature. Give me the hard drive space, thanks. And you no longer get to Quick Resume games, but you've got more space on your internal. So if that's true, because like, he's got one in his hands, he's a huge YouTuber, that'd be pretty rad for those guys that are trying to shut that down. And another narrative dead on the Sony end. They've been dying quick these last few weeks.
But Shady,
but there's also one point too that I think that a lot of guys has missed out on is the fact of what Xbox is doing right now with your saves. Like, you can partition all your saves too, for like, for instance, if you got NBA 2K or Madden or something, and like all of those different languages and things like that, you can take those things out. So it's pretty crazy. Oh my goodness! All right,
yes, you're not downloading the language packs.
Right. Well, and just a whole bunch more. But let me go ahead and read this. Cyrus Burke, aka Operation Op. Bro, we miss you. We know that you're working out there. You got it.
I don't miss you.
Bro,
I don't miss you,
bro. You know what I'm saying? I miss you because we know out there. Can I read this, please? Because what we're doing right now is that we know our boys out there at Costco, and he's fighting people off that don't want to wear masks. So we know what you're doing right now. So this is what we got to do. So I'm gonna read this.
The world, Fred.
You saved the world, bro. All right. I am tired of this misinformation. The PS5 has Quick Resume as well. You just need 5 different PlayStation 5s running at the same time, and pray and combine the heat exhaust doesn't nuke your neighborhood. I'm gonna pin that there. Can I pin that?
That boy is messy.
No,
Messy,
I can't pin super chats, but I can pin other stuff. So that was pretty damn great.
You can screenshot it and then minimize it.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna do all that. Anyway, but I'm gonna pin this though.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
You know, I wanted to make sure I checked before I said something, but I don't think that you can easily unpartition stuff. I think that it would take more than just like a off-on.
Are you talking about on Xbox?
Yeah, no, on Xbox.
Oh yeah, no, you can't because I've used
it's not an off and on.
Because I've used it.
If the Quick Resume option itself is being looked at almost as like an app that always takes up 100 gig, and you can just delete that app, so you can no longer Quick Resume, and it just gives you that space back. So it's not necessarily partitioned. It's just sitting there. It's technically always used up unless you tell it don't bother with the option. This is just I've only heard it from just him. It was brought up on Randall Thor's show today with Jez Gordon, and Jez was pretty shocked, and he has a Series X, and he was looking through the options for that exact option, and he says he couldn't find it. So he's either not looking in the right place, or it doesn't exist.
Well, I'm talking about the games. But I'm talking about the games themselves. That what you could do with the individual games, you can go and you could take out different parts of.
Yeah, some
You know,
games you
yeah,
can. Call of Duty, like
yeah.
Modern Warfare, is
Call
a
of
great
Duty,
example
FIFA.
where you
There's a
can
lot
take
of
out
games
some
you can do that
campaign
too.
chunks, you
Yeah.
can take out multiplayer chunks, or you can take out the
The
cooperative chunks.
Witcher,
Yeah.
there's a lot of games actually because that feature's been out for a little bit over a year because
And that's a good
let me
thing
chime
because
in a little bit. Let me chime in a little bit on this.
yeah, go
First
ahead.
of all,
Well, we got PK, so PK's gonna go before you because you've
No,
interrupted everybody.
not everybody. Stop it.
Woo!
But go ahead.
All right, PK.
No, I'm gonna let PK go.
Go ahead, PK. Go ahead
Made
and
me
say what you
feel
got to say,
bad.
brother.
What happened with
First,
Nintendo?
See,
where's the
again, there you go.
First of all, that a lot of console gamers, they don't understand. First of all, this is not a regular drive. It's not a regular SSD. This is an NVMe M.2, a whole different technology, and it is expensive. And I'm sorry, they talk about building a PC. Well, guess what? This is what it costs, and it actually costs more.
Thank you.
My Evo 970 actually is $250, and that's the 1 terabyte.
No,
We're
is
not
that
gonna
the pro
go.
version?
Yes, and the 2 terabyte is more. It's more than that. And what I said before about heatsink is yes, you could theoretically put this in without a heatsink, but there is a such thing as called thermal throttling. And after you use your NVMe for a while, it will slow down to try and stop the overheating for popping. So you have to have a heatsink or something to pull that heat off of that drive. That's why the proprietary drives make more sense because they already covering that aspect for you.
No doubt.
And let's get back to saying these expandable drives are optional. You don't have to have them. You don't.
Right. I feel like most of the people that complain are only playing fucking Call of Duty anyway. Like they're only playing Madden or only playing 2K or only playing Call of Duty. Like they're not variety players or anything like that.
This technology is so advanced. You can install and uninstall these games a thousand times faster than your current consoles. So I wouldn't even worry about that. I just think it's just nonsense. Listen, I even with my drive on my PC, I still don't install that many games. I uninstall when I'm not playing or not going to play for a while, and install when I am. And it's the same kind of drive. It's the same kind. So it's the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't have. I mean, come on, man. And what? Let's just be real. What we don't talk about is how long do these SSDs last? Because these NVMe's.
Yeah, there was aspects I wanted to talk about, but I wasn't even done. But
oh, my bad. Yeah. No. It's fine. Well, limit because you was over here trying
to. Please continue.
But PK, please continue.
I was just saying, we don't know how long they're going to last because every NVMe is judged by their terabyte writes. I don't know if you guys know that, but that is the metric they use to tell you how long it's how long it's last. And by
so
what
does
that
it have
means
like some sort of decay, like natural decay?
Yes.
Like
all drives have decay.
Hard drive, yeah.
All drives have decay, but the way they measure the NVMe's is by terabyte writes. So basically, typically the average one that you can buy today is like 500 terabyte writes. So that's 500 terabytes you can write to this before it goes completely out. And that's just the average. We're not talking about the ones in the console. Those are custom and probably better than what you can buy on the market right now. Okay. So they're going to have probably 1,000 or 1,500 because the Evo 970 can do about 1,500. So I'm assuming around there. So I wouldn't even worry about your consoles going out. But what I would say is we don't know what a Sony can approve to put in their console wherever it goes. And then if you can, do they have an expansion slot? Because I'm going to be real. Most of these brand new if you was buying a PC, most of these boards come with the padding for these M.2s built in. So what I'm saying is, how do you do an expansion for a console when you get what I'm coming from. It's not like you can open it up. I'm sure they're not gonna let you do that without breaking the seal. So, do they have a slot to put
Okay. I might have the answer.
Exactly the point I was making before, that it's probably just one drive in there.
Yeah, let Slayer answer because Slayer didn't get the chance to finish. Lemon, you're going last, so you'll have all the time.
They hitting on. No. First of all, I'm proud of both of them because they hitting on my points.
Right.
I ain't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Still lots of going last, Lemon. I understand how you feel. Maybe you go first on the next subject.
No,
Right.
It's all right. I don't need to go first. I'm happy to hear y'all say it because I was going to say the same thing.
PK was saying some of the things I had planned to say. Like I said, it was going to be dense with information, but apparently I was going to hog everybody's points. So, but yeah, these SSDs in general, not just the NVMe's, even the SATA SSDs, because I'm on my second one now. Okay, I bought a larger one and then sat on it for a year before I finally installed it. And it dropped to half the price. But anyway, it's not about the reads, it's about the writes. Okay, the more that you write to the drive, it starts to whittle away at its life. It's not really the reads. The reads do to an extent, but it's really the writes. Okay, and in the console situation, like PK was talking about, you constantly, you're moving, especially if you want to use an external USB drive, to make up for the limited space of the SSD, where you're copying the games back and forth. Unfortunately, that's more likely to ruin the internal drive even quicker. Okay, so this is
to switch back and forth,
right? Because you have to write the whole game into the drive, and these games are huge. Right. This is the reason why I'm buying the external drive. I already paid for this. Why I knew the price was $233 with Sax here in PA. Because I'm looking at the thing right now. It's expensive, but to me, I feel it's a must, right? And that might sound like it costs a lot, and it does. But the point I was making with the PlayStation, how it most likely has the one slot, you have to buy a drive that's larger than 1 terabyte to even make it worth it. And 1 terabyte is already expensive enough as it is, especially if it's one that's going to meet the performance requirements of the PS5, which we know are very high. So a 2 terabyte drive, let's say, could be like $400 to $600.
No. Tell them the number that I sent to you for the 2 terabyte. Do you remember the number?
I can't even remember. I want to say like $800.
$2,000.
Whoa, what? It was what?
The man does not lie.
No, because $2,000 for a 2 terabyte?
Yes.
The speed of what the PlayStation do, the NVMe was 2 racks.
If you need a 2 terabyte drive, because you're not going to put a 1 in there because that's the same thing you already got.
Same thing. It don't matter. Trust me.
PlayStation probably doesn't have 2 slots because they've never done that before, and they have things to pay for. No.
Wow.
The drive isn't even 1 terabyte in the PS5.
Let me hit the chat. Big shout out to man, everybody that stopped by, man. Sleepy Goblin, you know what I'm saying? Much love to you always, brother. But man, a person I haven't seen in so long, man, and you know what I'm saying, and want to connect with again, man. One of the guys from the very original time since I started. And matter of fact, he started before I did, and that was Microbox of X. Big shout out to you, brother, man. Thanks for coming by and saying what's up. Also, Megatron is in the house. Thank you, bro. But let me go ahead and read this. You know what I'm saying? Rain, he said, Sony, he says, will Sony replace the SSD with the flux capacitor? Oh my God. Come on, bro.
Replace the design.
Okay. You disrespectful. Rain is disrespectful, bro. It is Infernal Lock. What's going on with you, brother? He said, is Bloody still holding that L? Is that why he's not on here? Yes, he took that L so bad. He took a plane to go get his Satan rings restructured. No, he had work to do.
What L are we talking about?
Oh, the L that he said at the end of the show. Yeah, at the end of the show.
He called it, and it was hours later. We were proven right that these games are exclusive on the Xbox.
Right. Like he was adamant. Him and Supersonic. And look, I gotta bring Sonic back on. He's a great. He's a great guest. He's a great guest.
Absolutely.
And Black Frost was going to come, but Black Frost hit me up and said that he couldn't. He didn't feel well. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, because we want to hear a PlayStation person. Well, we're all gamers. We all own a PlayStation. I don't think there's anybody in this panel that don't own a PlayStation.
We all don't own a Switch. Fraud.
Listen,
Shots fired.
I said PlayStation, sucker. I didn't say anything about a Switch. I will get
You better
one.
not. You gonna get one when the Pro come out?
Yeah, you might as well wait now.
Listen,
I'll get one when the Pro comes out.
listen. This ain't about what this isn't about what K Mega has. This is about. Shut up. Anyway, I will give me a Switch. I'm getting tired of people harassing me about me getting a Switch. I'm gonna get
Get
one.
a Switch Lite. Get a Switch Lite.
No, I don't want to. See, I don't want a
He's
Switch
in the
Lite.
ecosystem.
I know. I want to dock it to my television, even though I heard it looks horrible. But I still want to dock it to my television.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
look
looks
horrible.
better. It looks better.
It looks better. So that's where I want to. That's where I want to play. Anyway, all right. So, back to the point. So again, what in the world, man? Like, okay, so the heating issues, the situations with we could have a damn I'm going to say it again, a SSD expansion that's 2 terabyte for $2,000, which that's not, nobody's ever going to see that.
Nobody.
So, nobody's ever going to see that. So and then it's really crazy because the console is coming out in about a month, and so we don't, and PlayStation fans, and we don't, and play, well, just all of us gamers don't even know what kind of, SSD expansions to,
you don't even know what it looks like.
We don't have any idea what is going on with PlayStation. I'm gonna let you get the last word, Lemon, but I'm just asking this to everybody: what the hell is going on? Why we haven't seen a PlayStation in the wild, but only from what we just seen a rapper just showing it, you know what I'm saying, on his lap. What's going on here?
No, he only showed the controller.
Just the controller. They're not showing that console, man. Unless there's Shaquille O'Neal.
Jeff Keighley
comedy
showed with the damn controller. Like, why nobody can show what
it's
the
comically
console
large, because it looks like a suitcase right out of the 80s.
It's like a Chinese.
It's so big.
Yep.
It's like the old Chinese secret.
I mean, but I don't feel like people wouldn't buy it just because it's big.
Oh, they would. I've been through comment sections, and there's a lot of people that are just like, that's not fitting in my entertainment section. Guess I'm going Xbox or they're going PC or whatever. There are people that's
crate and
too much.
Prop it up. Like, do whatever you got to do.
Some people, that's a big thing. Like, there are people where the aesthetics of a console and how it fits, if it even fits, is a big they can. And I have come across a bunch. They could obviously just be Xbox guys saying it, but there are people where that's a thing. Like, it was a huge thing at the beginning of this generation. The Xbox original was so huge, so monstrous. How could it even sit on your desk? How could it do it? It was slandered for years. Yes. Now all of a sudden we have the biggest console of all time about to launch. That's one of the main reasons, I swear, they're not showing it. They're not going to give it to any YouTuber who's got small hands, little 5'7" guy. He's not allowed to have it because he can hide behind the fucking thing. They're not going to let anyone see it. They're not going to let anyone
say that again. The biggest what? Say it again, because your emphasis is crazy. Say it again.
It is the biggest console in all time. The shape of the console is the biggest of all time. It's a tower, and it is very, very, very deep. Like, it's a suitcase.
Have anybody? I'm sorry for interrupting, but have anybody noticed that at Tokyo Game Show there was no PlayStation, nothing?
No.
Not at all.
Listen, PlayStation has not had an event at some other place in what, 3 years?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been like 3 years.
I've heard that Japanese YouTubers are supposed to be showing off that robot game that is pre-installed on a PlayStation or something like that tomorrow on YouTube. They get to show some stuff. I guarantee you they won't be allowed to show the console next to those Japanese YouTubers because the thing's as tall as they are. They're not doing it. It is comically large.
Wow.
You got
I'm reading this.
You got super chat. No,
I'm reading it.
Mega.
Go ahead.
I'm reading it.
All right.
Shout out to Dragon Heart Yobi. The biggest K-Mega fan in the world.
Oh yeah. Stop that. That's not true.
Oh yeah.
That's my brother right there. That's my brother right there.
Oh yeah.
Listen here, sucker. In K-Mega's voice. K-Mega Switch is on the way.
Oh.
Late B-Day gift from me.
What?
Did you get him something?
I'm about to give him a beatdown on Smash.
Love,
my man,
every single one of y'all to the community. Thank you for allowing me to spread love. No, you only spreading love to this 1,700-pound light-skinned brother.
Listen to this. Thank you, Yobi. Hey, bro,
We'll put
no.
the lamest
Listen,
gameplay videos.
man, I've been showing hot gameplay because people are too scared to show their gameplay anymore. PK,
I
Lemon.
got you, bro.
Okay,
Yo,
all right. So
I give you gameplay and you forget to put it. Well,
I haven't forget. Man, look, I've been off. I've been off work, so there's no forgetting anything. You give me to me, it's going. When you was forget, the last time that you gave me some gameplay is when I was working. So come on, man, stop it.
Okay.
All right, so come on. So all right, so you know what I'm saying?
You got to pass. Yo,
right. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying?
Rain
Rain is disrespectful. Rain is no good. I'm finna pin that, Rain, since you gonna sit there and disrespect me like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Disrespectful. Thank you, Yobi, so much, man. Thank you. God bless you. And listen, Yobi is one of the most kind-hearted people that you ever want to meet, man.
Yes, he is.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He has helped out
If he didn't
so
just prove it,
many
I don't
other
know why he
gamers
didn't
in the
prove it
community,
yet.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Helped
He
out
don't
so
bleed.
many.
He don't bleed green. He bleed Clay Mega.
Stop it. No, that's my streaming buddy, man. That's my streaming buddy. Him, Sir X, man, and my streaming buddies, man. They ride for me, man. They ride. We play these games. We get down. That's my brother, man. Thank you so much,
Ain't that
man.
the same
God bless
thing
you.
Lemon just said?
Lemon. I ain't seen Lemon in Fight Night. I ain't seen Lemon in anything.
Yo,
But
Yobi got K Mega pom poms on deck.
oh my God! Here we go, man. All right, so Lemon, you're last. Okay, you're last on the whole SSD thing. So go ahead and take it away, man.
First of all, it's not to throw my boy K Mega under the bus. K Mega kept saying, "Lemon, they're not gonna raise these prices." I said, "Yo, listen,
yeah, that okay."
I give him $150.
Hold on. Let me say this first. Because I was going to say that until Yobi just kind of threw me for a loop for saying what he did in the super chat. But yes, that was the first thing I was going to say. That's why I was keeping you for last, is because I was going to say, look, my brother 108 Dragon said this. And listen, I understand that there's other podcasts out there, there's other people out there that knows their stuff, but there's people on GRG that know their stuff too. And Lemon, and I listen, like I said, I lurk and listen to all different types of podcasts, even if you don't see me post up anything in there. Lemon was one of the first people to bring up, him and Slayer were one of the first people that I ever heard that they was going to say that shit was that those SSDs was going to be 200 plus bucks. And I just flat out denied it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to admit something on that. Yo,
what?
Listen, not even Lemon knows about this, but the reason I was able to change up my opinion on the price of the drive like the week before was I got some inside information from some server dudes who worked at Facebook, who sold some, Facebook uses these SSDs, in their servers that are like 4 terabytes and they're really up on all this stuff. And I got some information from some folks who worked at Facebook about the cost of these drives, and that's why I was able to adjust my opinion like the week before. And not even Lemon knows about this. I didn't tell him because these are just resources that he and people he's not and things he's really not up on, with servers and stuff, But truly, folks, this stuff is not cheap. It won't be cheap for a while, except if the adoption rate is high. The more people buy, the lower the prices get. It's just the rules of competition. It's the rules of what do you call that? Of not retail.
Engagement?
No, versus America.
All right, we're not gonna.
It's the rules of capitalism.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, all right. All right, I was like, we ain't gonna go 10 minutes on trying to figure out what the hell you're trying to say.
That was the word. But anyway,
you should see. You failed. Everything you said was great until you get to that part and you stumbled.
Either way, these drives aren't cheap and they won't be. And at the same time, the one I'm talking about, the internal drive with all the rights, that will kill the drive quicker. So be mindful about what you do. It's on both systems and PC.
Correct.
Be mindful on what you write on these drives. Every time you write something to the drive is slowly dying.
All right. So let me go ahead and finish what I was going to say with Lemon, and then we're going to let Lemon finish, and then we'll get to the next topic. But yeah, these were the first guys that I heard anything about those enormous prices. And I know that there's hundreds of thousands of YouTubers out there, or content creators out there. So I know that there could be somebody that was first, but I'm saying within our circles, I didn't hear it from anywhere else except from these guys, and I just couldn't believe it. And I was just kind of like that. Those prices would turn people off. And I just got to say, Lemon, you and Slick were absolutely 100%
Slick.
correct. Yes, I call Slayer
That's what
Slick.
he says it in the beginning. His name is Sick, but I call him Slick.
I call him
That's
Slick.
what he do.
Yeah, because he's smart.
Questions it every week too,
Yeah.
like he didn't hear it.
Yeah, he's smart. He's smart. Like, yeah, come on. PK
Right.
has been messy tonight. Anyway, so
That's
go
why I
ahead.
brought him in our circle because he a smart guy.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, so go ahead. Let me go ahead and finish your thoughts about this,
but
man.
it's like I'm gonna give you a quick situation. 5 years ago, I built a PC that was crazy. It cost me close to $4,000, right?
Mhm.
And just to give you a reference in terms of these SSDs, these NVMEs, I paid $600 for the first M.2 drive on the market.
At the last second too.
And Six said, "You crazy?" I said, "But this is next gen. This is what we gonna do." And I did it. So when you see something like I said with the PCI Express port, and everybody keep thinking that don't come on everything. If you want to be in the next level, I told everybody, y'all keep pushing these companies. I want next gen. I want the best frame rates. I want 120 frames. I want this. But you want console prices. You want it to come out at 500. You want it to come in. People say, "Oh, the PlayStation gonna be $400." Technically, the Xbox is worth $800, and the PlayStation is worth about $700 to $600. If you want next gen, you're gonna have to pay for it this time around because everybody asks these companies to give us these PC-like features. So you can't look at the price and say, "Oh no, they're ripping us off." No, you want high end? I've been saying it for the last 2 years. Now you gonna welcome the world to real PC hardcore gaming finances, because if you're gonna have to buy in now, if you buy the system and you don't want to spend that money, I advise you to go get a 1 terabyte external SSD, right? That got huge reading rights. And I'm gonna do a video on my channel for TVs and SSDs to give people the education they need. But as soon as you hit that 2 terabyte market, you're talking about $450 for an external hard drive SSD with high reading. That's money. So if y'all want to play with the big boys, you better do a couple doubles at work, because this is what high-end gamers do. This is why the 3090s are 0.5% of the market. The 2080 Ti's are less than 0.5% of the market, because that's not the average gamer. The average gamer buys something they can afford. So if you want to play with the big boys, it's expensive. Like I told K Mega, it's not about being that, "Oh, if I got it, I don't got it." What it is new technology costs money. These are not no low-end systems. These are definitely, you can't build a PC for $500 that outperform the PS5, let alone the Xbox Series X.
I'm so mad at K Mega right now, Lemon. Not to take your thunder, but he missed the opportunity to show some, not gameplay, but just the atlas on where North America is and where
where Canada is sitting on that continent.
Just so he can see, since he put that in the background.
But can I finish?
What's going on here?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
He talking about Hart. He talking about Christopher.
Oh. But what I'm saying is, my man 100 always say, "Lemon, you be talking about money." I said, but when people want to talk about next gen, that comes with money. Next gen is not cheap. You want to buy a high-end TV and you want to be in that conversation with no crushed blacks and all that, you got to spend money. Don't talk about no TCL money, and I'm not knocking TCL, but you can't buy a Volkswagen Beetle and think you got a Bentley. There's a difference.
I would say more like a Chrysler,
if you
500,
TV,
and then think
don't buy
that you got
all the Series X, bro. You ain't built for that.
All
right.
I can go with that. But what I'm saying is, we all want next gen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're forced. Microsoft has pushed the boundaries of beyond what even AMD's first 12. They don't even have a 9 teraflop GPU. They first 12 teraflop. Their biggest GPU is in the Xbox Series X. You understand? So now we're pushing the boundaries of where they taking consoles way beyond what they thought. We got a PlayStation 5 at 9.2 overclocked to 10.2. Now you got to step your game up, or you just gonna fit in where you get in. But don't complain about prices. And this is what the market asked for. The fans said, we want over 120 frames per second gaming. You got it. We want faster read speeds and next to nothing load times. You got it. But now you got to pay, because that is very costly. Even PC dudes don't have that option with these two systems are giving. That's why, that's what it is.
Why do I hear myself in the background? Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't
know.
This is all a product of having an entire generation where much of the conversation around the games wasn't what the game is, but how it's performing. The digital foundries, IGN bringing up 1080p versus 900p in every single game review at the beginning of the gen. These companies are seeing that dominates so much of the talk around these games, almost as much or more than the game itself. Is how's it running? What's the resolution? What's the frame rate? Yada, yada, yada. That the companies are just putting out the best that is absolutely possible, to the point where they're losing sizable chunks of money to get it into our hands, because they want that narrative, I think, to go away and come back to the games. Who has the games? Are the games any good? That type of thing. Not is it running at 4K.
I got one question for you. This goes, and I want anybody in the PC realm to show me some numbers. Who games at 4K more? An Xbox One X console owner or PC?
Guaranteed those Xbox One X owners. Everyone who owns a One X can game at 4K with the games available, whereas PC, isn't it like 1 or 2% of gamers?
It's a 0.5%.
Oh, baby. It's super tiny.
Well, part of the reason is, one, it's too expensive, and two, it's not worth the PC cares more about performance. And to pay for that, to get 4K 120 or 165 or whatever you can, man, that's expensive.
Just 4K in general is super expensive. I wish the resolution war never happened, because all the power that the One X has, almost all of it is going to just pushing 4K, not necessarily on-screen particle effects, more grass, all that type of stuff. It's going to giving us the 4K. And as awesome as that is, I love the 4K image and stuff. It's so crisp. You look at games like God of War that are in 1080p, and they have a ton of detail. That's why people say the game is gorgeous.
Oh, just
and that's because resolution isn't graphics.
Yeah.
I always equivalent resolution to like a window. The outside world is the same. The graphics never change in the outside real world. But if you're looking through a window, if it's 4K, it's crystal clear, it's just been cleaned. If it's 1080p, it's got a little bit of layer of dust over it, maybe a fingerprint or two. 720p, it's all smudged up. But the graphics don't change. So when a game's graphics get better, you don't need 4K to see those better graphics. It just makes those better graphics crisper. And I just wish that the resolution war never took off like it did, because almost all of the power of the One X is going towards delivering that 4K resolution, because it was such a strong narrative, as opposed to delivering just on-screen, bombastic, in-your-face graphics. Like, you can watch a Blu-ray player on 1080p. No one's complaining about the quality not looking good. It's insane looking. It looks fantastic. No one's confused about what they're seeing. It's not too blurry. It looks great. So to have more on-screen, more graphics, more particles, more grass, longer draw distances, more AI, all that stuff, as opposed to just pushing resolution, I would rather see myself. But now the power of the Series X anyways can basically do both, which is nice. But it's too bad that resolution had to become such an argument that the One X is basically, that's all it does is ups the resolution. You're playing the same game with a higher resolution count, maybe a higher frame rate here and there. But man, that 4K is power hungry, extremely power hungry, which is why the Series S, you take out the GPU that it has, lesser than the Series X, and it does 1440p, 60 frames, 120 frames. It's going to have ray tracing. It's essentially the same box. It just does less resolution, because so much power goes to that. And not everyone cares.
Well, I agree with you, but I just want to point out that the One X has, its bottleneck wasn't the resolution. It was the CPU.
For frames and stuff, right? But so much of that GPU power, as opposed to going towards any type of GPU accelerated particles on screen or anything like that, we were getting resolution bumps,
Shady's exactly
which I appreciate it, but
All right, so let me go ahead
Yeah.
and let me get to this super chat, and then we got to get into the next topic because we've really been on this topic for a little while and kind of blended into another, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that. Still a good show, but hold on, let me get it. I gotta because I was over here doing something because somebody was over here trying to talk trash to me, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be funny back. Ah. Anyway, all right, so let's go. To my boy Cyrus Burke, Operation Op, he says. Gotta treat the PlayStation 5 like a portable generator. Leave it outside, run the cord through the window, and hope that it isn't too noisy and not blow up. God, Op, you're just so disrespectful. And to our girl Sharice from Grown Women Gaming, she says, "Y'all killing my buzz." This was earlier, and she said, "You said I'm gonna give me another drink." So all right, so stop killing the buzz. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to keep people entertained. All right, so to the next topic, and you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just kind of jump because we'll get back to it if we have time. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right to it, to the rumors, man. I'm going to go right to the Xbox rumor with Bungie. There's been some significant rumors that's been going around. It's been pretty heavy. There's been people that's out there that's shown different, man, from different from like Xbox Reddit and all these other sites and all these other places, where they were showing this patent and this labeling that is on Bungie's that has to do something with Bungie. I don't know if you guys seen it. I posted it in the DM, but it's been floating around out here on social media, and it's basically the same as everything else that's tied in with Microsoft. Now, there was something also that was today where somebody brought up about it was an article and it was bringing up something about like Microsoft and Bungie, Bungie coming back to Xbox, and then the CEO of Bungie said it's pretty much not going to happen. Now, we've also heard people from, especially, I think the most famous is from Obsidian, where they flat out denied and said that there was no acquisition or anything like that. And of course, now you see that Obsidian is with Microsoft. So the question I'm asking you guys, and I'm going to go to you again, L Boogie, first on this. Do you believe in this rumor, and how significant would it be? Because there's a lot of people out here that's really excited about it. But what about you personally? I mean, is it something that will blow the doors off and get you hyped and say, "Wow, Microsoft has just knocked it out the park with another studio"? Or are you kind of indifferent and thinking like maybe Xbox should be trying to go after somebody else?
I think somebody else. I think that they should nurture the partnership that they have already because we already have Destiny on Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're already getting all their stuff day one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think whatever relationship that they've come to terms with right now is still benefiting me. I don't personally want Bungie to start trying to work on other things or being forced to work on other things along with Destiny. Keep working on Destiny and make Destiny the best game it can be.
Yes, I totally agree.
And I don't know. I feel like they spent so much time and effort getting away from Activision. Why would they hop right back into the same situation?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am being disrespectful. You will see it on the screen here shortly. Yes. Okay. So there we go.
Yes, finally.
Okay, finally, there we go. All right, so go ahead. All right, so I'm gonna ask everybody else, and then there's going to be another question I'm going to ask everybody too on top of this. But what studio would you want Xbox to acquire, or you're just kind of basically like, okay, Xbox got enough at this point. Let's just focus on what they have with the 23. Or is there somebody in particular that you think that Xbox should go after? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for me, yeah. I don't know. For me, it's weird. I know most people probably won't agree with me, but I think that they should just stop right now. Like, I think that with what they got from Bethesda, that's great. I think that they have a lot of people in the wing ready to pump out some games. So let's just start to see some games. Mm-hmm. Like, these acquisitions are awesome. I think that, like I said, Bethesda and it's Zenith, right?
Mm-hmm. ZeniMax. That was like a huge acquisition. And I hear that there's supposed to be others, but for me, just give me the console and give me some games to play.
No doubt. No, I totally agree with that. I don't know. I personally, for me,
Mhm.
and I'm going to go to you, Shady, on this one. But I mean, in El Boogie, if you want to, say something back to me on this one, but I personally feel that Bungie is a bad fit. Not because of they're a good fit in the sense because they already know how Microsoft is or whatever. They've already worked with them. But it's just to me, I think more about 343 and
Yeah.
what that does to 343. They already seem like they're in a crazy situation where there's reports out there where they're just mentally as a company seem like they care more about what everybody else says outside instead of using their talents to just make the perfect game for Halo. And if you add Bungie in there, even though we know that but the team that's working on Destiny, they're not going to mess with anything that's Halo related, but the Halo stands, the old guard of Halo will demand and will go crazy if Xbox acquires them, and because they'll be demanding that them to go up
Yeah.
there. And I
There's
think
a problem with
and I think that it'll be internally in 343
Yeah.
cause more issues within that studio to continue to work on Halo instead of them just letting them do what they need to do, because they have catered to the old guard so much, so long. And that is my main reason why, hey, look, let somebody else go ahead and get them, or let Bungie just stay independent, because the deals that you have right now with Destiny being on Game Pass, I think it's just perfect enough.
Right. I agree.
What about you, Shady? What do you think? And about the question that I asked El Boogie too about the whole acquirement situation. Do you believe it?
I think it's rumor for now. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people doing a lot of digging, a lot of sleuthing, and finding some interesting tidbits. It's there, but I don't know if it's Microsoft that's buying them. I think someone might be. If someone is, to be honest, I hope it is Microsoft at the end of the day. I don't want this to become an Amazon acquire or a Google acquire, even a Sony acquire. Any other company is locking their stuff down to a single point of access. You will either own a PlayStation if you want their things, or you will stream games through Stadia or Luna. Microsoft is the only company with the actual ecosystem that allows you to access the games streaming on your phone through xCloud. You can have a console or you can play on PC. That's a true ecosystem. I don't want anyone else getting it if it's going to be locked down to a single point of entry. I don't like that practice. I have hated it my entire life of gaming, never been a fan of it at all. And I don't want this. So if people are buying up companies, I'd rather it's Microsoft, regardless of the fact that I'm a fan of the company already. I just hope it's them because they give the most access, the most ways for people to play. And then, of course, you bring in Game Pass. Anything that they own goes in there. And that is the biggest deal in the history of gaming, period. So I think that's the best. If someone is going to buy them and they are for sale, I hope it's Microsoft. I can't for sure obviously say that it is. I personally love Bungie. I thought they made great Halos. I like the newer Halos better myself. They do deeper story. The gameplay is improved. It's just me, but Halo is like my second favorite game of all time, right behind Doom. I've always been a fan of Bungie. Destiny is my most played franchise, new franchise this entire generation. Destiny 1 and 2, I put in ridiculous hours. I think they know what they're doing. They're great. I don't think there'd be too much toe stepping if they were acquired with Halo and stuff. It doesn't matter what the old guard screams and yells about. We were just shown by the old guard that that's not what a lot of people want to see. We looked at the new Halo footage and a lot of people said it looks old, looks dated, and that's because they're going with an aesthetic. That's
You're
it.
right, Shady.
It's a
But hold
old
on.
aesthetic.
Okay, but this is the thing though, Shady, right? But that's the point though. 343 Industries has seemed like they're so tight knit, and the people that they've had that's kind of consultants and things like that, they're from that old guard, and
Yeah.
that's why that's the whole thing. And, look, if Bungie wanted to jump on board, that's great. I have no problem with that. But I think more for the sanctity of that studio for 343, because they're so talented that they're being held back by this old logic that Bungie is just the better overall studio when it comes to Halo, when they've had their turn. They didn't even want to do it anymore. They wanted
That's
to
just
move
it. The
on.
people that the
Right.
people that wanted to work on Halo stayed with 343, and the people that wanted to move on moved on. And a lot of people out there with the nostalgia
Exactly.
for the Bungie Halos have a very serious problem realizing that's nostalgia. You were how much younger then as opposed to now when you've got kids and bills piling up and life is just a grind in general, as opposed to when you were young and didn't give a fuck about anything else and you were just hanging with the boys, playing Halo, getting drunk, what have you. It was a different time period when those games came out. We were much younger, all of us were, and it's very fond to look back at those games and think that they're better. They're not better than today's games. They just have a very large nostalgia factor, and a lot of that comes with what you were doing at the time period in your life, not necessarily the game itself. Old Halos are slow, period. There's no arguing that. They are slow compared to the new stuff. So preference aside, I just don't think 343 and Bungie, if acquired, would bump heads. I think Bungie is doing its own thing. I, like you, though, don't think he would be the best fit. I have no idea what Bungie is doing after Destiny 2. One would assume Destiny 3, but there's rumors of another IP maybe in the background that they're working on. That could be interesting. I think they're a talented studio. There's a lot of devs there. They know how to make good games. They're looking for funding, and outside of anyone else out there that is capable of buying this company, I would prefer it was Microsoft if someone's going to, like I said before, because they offer the most avenues for the gamers to get to their products. And if they were to get it, what are they going to keep Destiny 2 going on the PS5? Like, if you're going to buy up the stuff, you got to play hardball and lock it out. So if they do get it, there's no Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 on other platforms, just like there won't be ZeniMax and Bethesda properties on them. That's how it works. But the way it is, they make games as a service games, and those tend to work best when they're multi-platform. So I'm not too sure. I don't think they fit the best, but if someone's going to buy them, I hope it's Microsoft.
Great point. Great point. All right, 108. Now it's your turn. What do you think about this, man? I mean, do you really actually think it? And before I let you answer that, I do want to explain for the people that's wondering what the hell is this map of North America? As PK was over here jumping on me about it. There was somebody that's in here, our you know, our favorite
And you didn't want
troll.
me to say nothing. That's what you're doing.
Well, okay,
and you didn't want me to say nothing.
okay,
Now you showing evidence where North America meets the rest of the
okay,
world.
so since it's your turn, your turn to talk about the topic. Please explain quickly why I am showing North America.
You showing North America because some people don't know the demographic they live in. Some people don't believe that Canada is part of North America, even though they do not pay American tax. They think North America means America, United States of America. No, North America is the goddamn continent.
Well, and then also, I mean, and then also for our the person that's in the chat with us, you know, our famous little troll. Maybe you didn't know that Alaska is up there as well. So don't get that twisted too. So, all right, and that's part of America. So just if you didn't know that, so. Okay, but anyway, okay, Libby, go ahead, brother.
No. Hit me with the question again. Hit me with the whole question. I want to answer it right.
Okay, the whole question is this: so the big rumblings and the rumors that Microsoft is going to acquire Bungie. Bungie themselves, the CEO from Bungie said it's not happening. In some kind of article that was posted today.
Yes.
But of course, but we also seen too that Obsidian said that they weren't being acquired and they got acquired. So, do you see that there's any? Is there any truth to that, or even if Microsoft is going to acquire Bungie, and if Bungie wants to be acquired because they're independent, do you think it's a right fit? And if not, who would you think that Microsoft? Who would you want Microsoft to go after instead of Bungie?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Bungie would be a great fit with Microsoft because, okay, they don't have to do Halo no more.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny would be an excellent exclusive. Mm-hmm. You know, they also brought Destiny to Microsoft from day one.
What if it can't be exclusive? Because they got a lot of deals with a lot of people.
If they can't be exclusive, there's no reason to bring them on board.
Well, they're making a new title though.
Nope. Destiny's the big boy. Destiny is definitely a financial machine. It's not as big as Halo, but it's definitely something you could put a notch on your belt and say, listen, got this. That would be excellent. And you know, they didn't have the experience in dealing with nobody else because, you know, they was PC dudes first, and Microsoft put the faith in them when they brought the Halo to them. And even though Microsoft bought it from them, right? They had the faith in them when nobody else did. But sometimes when you get comfortable in a situation, you want to break away from home and tell your parents, "You can kiss my ass. I could do what I want to do." But when you go out there and see the world is ruthless and they treat you like you're a regular developer, sometimes you want to go home and say, "You know what, my bad, but this is what we could work out." So they know the independence. They know that how they've been treated from Activision, the money machine, and that was a quick divorce after 2 games. So they would come with a better vision on how to conduct business. So I think it would be a match made in heaven. Microsoft is definitely not the same Microsoft from when they left. They basically left in the Don Matrick era, and Microsoft has definitely revamped their structure and everything, and the way they're going about treating developers and their in-house studios. So I think it would be a match made in heaven. But I know for sure that they don't want to be acquired in terms of locked in. But you always can get some exclusive deals. That would be another great situation. You see Destiny 2 on Game Pass drop this Tuesday with all the content. I'm all in because I don't play Destiny enough to invest into the ecosystem. But in Game Pass, I pay for it anyway. I'm an ultimate member. It's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? So I could see the relationship being way stronger than it was before. And they gave PlayStation those deals. That didn't work out for them. They got ridiculed for that. Come back to your community that's loved you, that's loved you from day one, from a franchise that is still highly acclaimed today, Halo. So they will be welcomed with open arms in this gaming community, and they would be good. But I don't think they want to be acquired.
Okay. All right. Great point. Great point. Great point. All right. PK, what's your thoughts on this, man?
So, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
It's they divorce Activision so they can have independence. The whole reason they want it, and the same people that's doing Bungie now aren't the same people who originally started Bungie. This is a new, whole nother crew, and I would say that, especially what 108 just said, if you can't make it exclusive, it's no point of bringing them board. But at the same time, they don't. They have anybody thought about the debt that Bungie is in? I mean, they owe Tencent money. If
Yep.
anybody's gonna
And
buy
they
them,
leave Activision. Yep.
if anybody gonna buy Bungie, it'll be Tencent.
Great point. I was waiting for somebody to bring them
Uh,
up.
I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna buy a studio when they have a mountain of debt. That's why Capcom has never been bought.
Great point, because I've seen so many people talking about, well, I think Capcom is better than Sega. Well, there's a big difference. Sega has got way more properties, and
Fact.
they don't have debt like Capcom does. But go ahead.
Yeah, like Capcom is in a crap ton of debt. They try to sell themselves and nobody picked them up because that they have toxic assets. And in business, you got to convince your shareholders this makes sense to buy and make your money back in 5 years. Well, there's no way. They got too many entanglements. They owe Tencent money. Think about it. Tencent has $100 million inside of Bungie already. So when you think about that, what there's no way Microsoft is going to touch that. Okay, nobody's going to touch that, honestly, unless it's Tencent. Nobody's going to buy Bungie. Bungie is not going to get bought. They're going to remain independent. They're going to do their own thing, and it's mainly because business wise it wouldn't make sense. How would they make that money back? Like, and then they have to get away from Tencent, and I don't know if Tencent is going to sell because they want to have a piece of everything. That's their
Facts.
intention. Okay, so you got to figure out how can you get Tencent off their hands off of it, and for one point before you can even think about bringing them into your stable. It's just not going to work. So it's not going to happen. I would just forget about it. It's just a pipe dream. Honestly, what we need to be talking about is how come Microsoft never showed the Japanese studio that they supposed to acquire. Nobody's talking about this. They haven't shown it, and yet we're talking about Bungie. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what we need to be figuring out. What's Japanese studio that they said they acquired they haven't shown?
Listen, that's a great point. That's a great point. Okay, we're gonna get back to that. we're gonna get back to that. Continue finish what you're gonna say, so we get to Slayer,
I'll-
and then we'll
I'm done.
we'll address that. We'll
Let me
address
say
that.
something. Let me say something.
Well, hold on.
Does it, I just got something to say to add
No,
to that.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Does anybody know how much Capcom had in the bank before Monster Hunter World on consoles?
Oh, I know
They were hurting.
They were hurting. They were
You know,
hurting.
I know the number though. Do you know the number?
No, I don't
It
know
was
the number.
hard.
Because
It was
Megatron just commented.
$137 million.
Yeah, look at
That
Megatron's
was a
point.
joke for a company that got the history that they got. They had $137 million in the bank physically before Monster Hunter World bailed them out, and then the resurgence of Resident Evil 7, and then Resident Evil 2 Remake. They was in financial turmoil, and $137 million as a company, we think of it as a lot of money individually, but as a company, they was not where they needed to be.
That's
the
why.
number.
That's why PlayStation fronted the money to make Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. Fact.
Right. All right.
They
So
needed the bread.
we're gonna get back to that, because that's a great point, and make that a roundtable topic. Because of course, just like as always, we're not going to complete all the topics that we have for tonight, but we're going to do one more, but then we'll wrap it up. But I do want to talk about that, because I think that's a really good point that you brought up. But if that's not your last point, PK, on the acquirement, then
Oh no, I'm done.
Oh, okay. All right. So Slick, what is your thoughts about this, man? Do you think it would be smart for Microsoft, or do you think that it's like, because I mean, it's got to be a bit different.
So, yo, before I say anything,
Yeah.
say it with me, Christopher Hart. North America.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, stop. Don't do that, boy. Like, don't do that, boy, like that. Come on, man.
No, hey, this internet is laughing at the boy.
Come on, man.
I know you're trying to
Listen, he light skin, sick. We all light skin here.
And it would have been done. Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna have to accidentally erase that, man. I'm sorry.
Yo,
I'm
get that
sorry,
off the
Hart.
screen.
I got it off. We go.
It's a
Oh,
bad
look at
reminder.
that beautiful flight simulator. All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
So, one of the, we always talk about, well, I just mentioned earlier, the benefits of, the loss of going last, but it's also a benefit. You get to shout out everybody who said the great points ahead of you, and also bring some ideas in your mind to say something different than what you planned. And I agree with everybody. No, they're not buying Bungie. Particularly, shout out to Shady when he said about, all the Halo people stayed at 343, except in one aspect, in my opinion, the control. Because as soon as you picked up Destiny, that was a familiar control. That was that Halo smooth, easy to aim, and
But Destiny at least has a run button. The old heads don't even want a run button.
I'm just saying that the Halo heads stayed at 343, except maybe that control aspect, because I see Destiny still rocks what Halo has in control. Not that Halo lost control, but still, it's with Destiny. They got that secret sauce at least. But also, shout out to PK. Also bring up the fact that Bungie left Activision, and they got that money from Tencent, so they owe that Tencent money, right? And so here the thing about it that I realized now that he said that, right? Even though I had planned to mention that, but him saying it made me realize, listen, if Microsoft was going to buy Bungie, it would have been back when they were trying to leave Activision. It would have happened already. It wouldn't have been Tencent who bought them. It would have been Microsoft, because Microsoft was spending money from back then. Okay, this whole thing with Bethesda was going on for 2 years, and the Bungie sale was what, early last year? That's within that time frame. That's 2019. So if Microsoft was going to buy them, it would have happened then, and it didn't happen. They don't need them for Halo. They got Destiny, and that's cool, but they owed a lot of money. And what did they have besides Destiny when they got Halo? That makes way more than any other game. So who cares? And that's why Bungie But I also heard some rumors about EA. And EA is the same reason why they left Activision. We know what EA does to developers. So hell no, they weren't going to the EA. Remember also, the only other idiots in this whole equation being Infinity Ward, who also left Activision, just ran and got sued and blah blah blah, made their own their own studio with Activision, and then left to go to EA. But hey, they're doing all right with EA so far.
So they're not, I wouldn't call them idiots. I wouldn't call them idiots. They're making hot ass games.
Well, And you hit me
I
right at the
think
point I was gonna make.
I
and
think that EA is changed their is starting to
I
change. It's
do
starting to turn the
agree.
corner.
I'm not gonna front. I do agree to a point, but what EA does is the first couple of games when you first rock with them, you make money. You make them hot titles, and people start thinking, oh, this is gonna be the one time that that EA buys the studio and all works out. As soon as people start saying that, and then they come out with a dud, or not a dud, but you see where EA's influence and bad decision making affected the game negatively, and then the next game does it worse and worse, and then all of a sudden the developer is gone. And so now I'm worried about the newly rumored Titanfall 3, honestly, because that's how EA get down. But hey, so I also don't believe that rumor. But as to who they would buy, I don't know. I've been thinking about that all week. It's been a question going on. I don't know. For the Capcom thing, once again, they're not buying them because they owe money.
Megatron said up here in the thing up here in the chat, and I pinned it, and he said companies acquire companies all the time that are in debt.
But Sega's situation is just it's a multi-headed hydra. Capcom is just a whole situation that I don't think they're buying any Japanese developer. They're gonna build their own, and they'll partner up with the Japanese developers, because buying them in Japan just puts a stink of America on these companies, and Japan don't like that, and it just affects them negatively, because not only do they need the developers, they want to sell to the Japanese market and the burgeoning Korean market. So it's a whole thing. But no,
I think things are starting to change in Japan, man. Because I mean, there was something I do agree. There was something that was brought up. I don't know who said that. I can't remember, but it was a great point that made me, pull back a little bit when we were talking about the whole. When I was bringing up the point about their infrastructure is a lot better with their online, was that Korea is that new juggernaut in the East, not so much Japan. And then China is now getting really strong with their development. After you see that one, if there's been games like the Long Wind Road, and then the one game that got everybody talking and wanting Sony or Microsoft or somebody to pick them up. I can't remember the name of that game where there's the Monkey King that's running around and he's fighting. He turns into a bug and then he pops back up. I've showed the gameplay of that like a couple of weeks ago. I can't think of the name of that game right off the bat. Baku, whatever. So China is now got really strong developers. So I don't know. I think maybe the old way of how Japan has thought about has had their infrastructure, and it's the same thing that I've kind of talked about with how Sony has kind of floundered around and just kind of sat where they've been and not really fully progressed. I think now everybody else is moving past them. It's kind of like what Lemon said last week too, is that like the Western RPGs are really revered and looked at better than most JRPGs, except for when you look at the consideration of Persona 5 and Final Fantasy. Other than that, the Western RPGs is king right now. So I don't know.
Fighters, we've got Injustice and Mortal Kombat are dominating the fighting more so than Street Fighter. So they held the industry on their back in the day. They saved the day for us back on the Nintendo era.
Black Myth,
they've fallen back.
Wukong. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
They've fallen back in their tech and stuff, and then the industry, like the people playing games, have grown exponentially. It's not nerdy, and you're a loser for playing video games. Everybody plays video games today.
Yes.
So the tastes of the rest of the world are now responsible for the big hits today, the Call of Duties and stuff, not the anime really influence.
Even if you know it in Japanimation, you don't see a lot of like Mr. Popo's popping up anymore. They used to be real quick on throwing shit like that, but
they've been told that they were messed up.
Even with their drawings and things like that, with their Japanimation, with the animation, it's been altering a little bit. I think that what Japan is what Japan is, right? Like with the way that they play games, mobile gaming is more their suit than it is home consoles. But the thing of it overall is that they're no longer becoming to be the giant that they once were, because everybody around them is trying to take over. Everybody
both
around.
in making the games and in consuming the games. There's more people around the world than in just the Asian markets that are consuming these games. So they want more than just games made in Japan and whatnot. Those are the more popular. There's more people outside of Japan playing games than in Japan. So I'm like, I don't really care what Japanese studio they buy. It's irrelevant to me. I enjoy some of the work that comes out of there, but not all of it, not most of it, to be honest. I'd love to see like a Techland or a People Can Fly or a Crytek. Like there's a lot of mid-tier guys that, given the proper budget and time, could deliver bangers. And I'd rather see some of those guys get nabbed up. Or the WB if they could work things out. I mean, they have banger studios right there.
Right.
Whereas as I'm wondering about Japanese stuff, when it comes down to it, if you're not buying Capcom or Square Enix, it doesn't matter as far as your relevance in today's market. Sega has tons of nostalgia, tons. But those are really, really old games that you could reboot into something like, Streets of Rage recently did.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as far as they can kind of go.
Oh, no. I totally disagree.
Whoa,
gentlemen, hold on.
It's not just. I know it's not just. I didn't mean to blanket.
But let me make this point. There's somebody in the chat, and I wanted to really make this point. This is why I wanted to show. There's a lot of people that's trying to say that that Xbox is not showing their hardware or not showing newer games. This is an Xbox game right here that you're looking at, and people, and you know what I'm saying. And I see a couple of people that knows what it is. It's Scorn. This I've never seen anything look this terrifying and this beautiful at the same damn time.
It's disturbing in all the right ways. Like I can't wait.
H.G. Geiger. Yeah.
That shit in that jar. That shit in that jar that was shaking with the teeth, bro, I don't even want to be a part of that. I don't even want none of that. Like, they say, we're going to put you in this universe.
Gen Hellraiser.
Yeah, bro, like, they say, we'll give you $20 million. You go in there and stay the night. Bro, fuck that. I'll stay broke. I don't want this. I don't want that. That shit that you showed in that jar shaking with his teeth, I don't even want none of this. This universe is not for me. It's crazy. And that is an Xbox game right there. If you guys remember, Xbox showed you a lot of games that they were showing on their very first showing, even though a lot of those games were considered or thought to be, or some of them are third party, but those games are running on the Series X. They were just early in development. So I don't want to hear this garbage about, well, they ain't showing us new games. They showed you new games. They showing you old games. They're showing you all different types of stuff. But okay, let's get back focused. All right, so back to the Japanese point that PK was saying. Why is it? And L Boogie, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have one more topic. If you can stay on, you can. If you can't, that's cool. I totally understand.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we're going to have one last topic after this, and then we'll move on. We'll get out of here. But PK is right. You would think that TGS, and they made it, Xbox made it well known that they're not going to talk about acquired studios or anything like that. I get that. But PK is also right, too, is that you would think that would be the perfect time to let people know that they are all in with the Japanese market. So do you even think that they're going that all of what Phil and them said is true, that they're going to acquire a Japanese studio? Or maybe that they ran into some red tape. Do anybody, what do you think? Round table. Anybody could just jump in and say what they want to say. Oh, well, okay. Nobody.
It means anybody.
I don't know. All right. Everybody just like, okay. Well, okay, I'll be in the round table. Hell, shit. I think, personally, Xbox is waiting out PlayStation because they know PlayStation has maybe one or two more runs at them to throw, and maybe PlayStation has one more trick up the sleeve to try to get their PlayStation, to get their base really super hyped. Now, of course, PlayStation gamers are already hyped because it's a new console, but to say this is, PlayStation is ready to dominate, blah 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 blah. And so maybe Xbox is just holding on to it and saying, look, we don't want to just throw everything out because we still have a lot more to show and to talk about. And we'll do this next month, or we'll do this after the release of the console when we have the XO event. I don't know, but I still feel that they're going to get a Japanese studio or an Asian studio, if for that matter, because it is so vital to what they're doing. If they didn't pick up Bethesda, I probably would have been like, well, no, they're not going to pick. I think they're done with who they're picking up with, but Xbox is not done. And if there wasn't Amazon in the background, and I understand that people are already counting Stadia to be dead and everything else, and Google,
But it is dead.
but Google's money isn't dead.
No, Google, no, their money, but the services.
Okay, but like I said yesterday, like I said last week, I mean, is that all it takes is one studio. All it takes is one studio. So if Google said sit there and negotiated with Bungie and made it exclusive to Stadia, Stadia's back in business, Jack. If Amazon do it, Amazon is well ahead of schedule. If Tencent get it, they're well ahead of schedule because they got pretty much damn near everything as it is. So all it takes is one purchase. And so that's why I know Microsoft is not done because they know that the big boys back there got the money and ready to do something.
I don't know if they're going to buy Japanese studio, but an equal win would be just a partnership. Because really what they need is that Japanese developer support. So they'll sell in Japan, but like I said, that's a jumping off point for Korea. It doesn't even have to be a purchase.
Okay.
But overall, I guess I agree with you. Otherwise, yeah.
Okay, Megatron
said they was going to buy a Japanese studio.
Yeah, they said that they were going to buy a Japanese studio, and Megatron brought this point.
Then
what
if
if
buy one?
But hold on, yeah, but no, they got one added with Bethesda ZeniMax. Which,
they bought all of the studios underneath that umbrella.
Right. Then and they have that one Asian studio, which will be counted if that's the case. But Megatron said, "What if they acquire Platinum Games?" You know what, Megatron?
We talked about that.
Platinum Games. I just don't trust them. I don't like them. I know that it's totally different, but I mean. I guess.
Why would they want them?
Why would I mean? Well, they make hot ass games. Well, they make good games. They make good games. They make good games.
Mediocre games. They have never made.
Don't do that.
No. Bayonetta is not mediocre.
Bayonetta.
No, let me tell you.
Bayonetta
and Vanquish never put up the same numbers.
Who cares about numbers, PK?
Well,
I could buy that company and then fire the top brass. They're a bunch of pricks.
You're trying to tell me
now, so Shady. Now you talking. If they get Platinum Games, then you gotta get that little drunk dude out of there to be talking that shit. You gotta get him out of there. You gotta get him out of there because he's a lightning rod. You're a lightning rod. Because if you're gonna hire, if you would get them and you would hire that little bastard that calls human beings insects, then you could go get dude that made Ninja Gaiden. You know what I'm saying? That's who you should get. That's who you should get.
Maybe they're opening a studio with him. That I could see. And him as the head.
Look, if they bought Platinum Games and made him the head, then it's a damn win because now Scalebound's coming. But I would clean house out of the head. There's no way that you could have that smart mouth bastard opening his mouth talking the shit that he does to be under the Xbox umbrella. His cockiness would be on cloud 3000. What do you think about that, Megatron?
He's already at the point of low-key begging to be bought, right? Anytime somebody tweets out, he got a smart tweet like, hey, come buy me. If he's at that point already, he already lost a shot at Microsoft.
Yeah, I think
Microsoft has never bought anybody who's devolved to that level. Never.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody else went? Oh, and hold on, PK, this is for you, brother. Even Christopher Hart says my gameplay is fantastic. It's fire. Gishin, you know what I'm saying? Impact. That's my gameplay, buddy. You saw me shooting that dragon in the ass. I'm over here putting in work. What you doing? Nothing.
So before you start talking about this mobile game that's on
Bro,
Android
that game is fired.
Before you start talking about that,
what? This game is dope.
Let me tell y'all, before y'all start talking to me like that, holla at me when you try the Kurtz Pel on PC.
What's it called?
What?
KURTZ.
Just send me the information, man. And if you know what I'm saying, I'll play it. I don't care about that, but this game is fire. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
This game looks fire.
That game is dope. Yeah, this game make a gameplay, baby. I'll play it all. Anyway, all right, last topic. Let's get the hell out of here.
Real quick here, man, while we're talking about buying Japanese companies, since I've been in this community for years, man, I hear so many people say, American companies aren't allowed to buy Japanese companies. It's just a blanket statement that I hear parroted by so many people, including some here. So be it. But
Microsoft has studios. Microsoft.
You don't need that either. Like I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go to Google, and I started typing in.
Yeah. Okay.
Can an American company, and then it finished the sentence, buy a Japanese company? It knew what I was looking for, and I said, yeah, that one. And it's just an entire page worth of outside of. No more difficulty than buying a European company if you're an American company. It can be done. Yes. You're not allowed to like buy their water treatment companies or their electricity providers.
It's illegal or anything.
It's like no, it's like not illegal, but everyone's of the opinion that an American company just can't go and buy one. They certainly can. It's rules. Just like buying any other international company.
And Microsoft meets those rules. They got a company already that's been established in Japan for multiple years, so they're
and that's not even a necessity either. Like a lot of people think that without that it couldn't be done, but it can. There are examples in the past. How did Bethesda get this company? Like they sneak one guy over there with some
great point.
Can be done. You just type it into Google yourselves instead of saying it all the time, and realize that there are dozens of examples, and it's just pages upon pages of yes, of course you can buy these companies. There's no law, there's no protectionist stuff that everyone thinks there is.
I'll give you one example to back you up that will blow some minds. Sega, started by Americans in Japan. Service Games, Sega. It was started by Americans, okay, to sell Japanese products in America, arcade games and stuff that they weren't even making. It was started by Americans, so it can happen. It's just the environment, and how they do things in Japan. Sometimes it just doesn't work out in the end, but things are changing. So I could see it happening. It's just it would be real tough. It would have to be the right one for the right price. With the right potential to make new titles, as soon as you hear of the
well, that's why Sega.
But there's no international agency or government in Japan that's preventing these sales. So a lot of people do make it sound like that. Like that is not allowed.
There's been a lot of places.
It's very allowed.
I want to answer Chris Hart. First of all, Chris Hart, I'm playing PSO2, and faithfully. Wait, are you playing PSO2? Oh no, you can't.
No,
you can't.
He can't. You're right.
That's right.
Can't. It's not.
So why don't you back up, good sir? Because I got my fair share of Japanese games.
All right. Oh yeah. PK is definitely into Japanese games.
No, before Boogie falls asleep, girl, you still here?
Well, no. If you let me get to the last, let me get to the last topic before. We're done. We're the last topic. Let's get to it.
We're almost done. Let's get it.
15 minutes.
I'm trying to hold on.
15 minutes, and then we getting out of here. Regardless.
Let's go, Boogie.
Let's go. Cross-gen saves. Let's talk about this. Will cross-gen saves issues between the PlayStation 4 and 5 be a problem going forward for Sony? L Boogie, I know you've been quiet, sister girl. So what is going on? Like, I personally think that it's going to impact going in the future if they don't rectify or change. What do you think about this? I mean, especially with games that you already knowing with Spider-Man that people lose their saves. That it's the rumblings are even getting bigger and bigger that there's so many more PlayStation 4 games that will not have that. And then one more point that I don't think anybody has really thought about is games like Ark and those open and like Rogue Company, Apex. Those type of games like that, some of them might go through, or let's say Warframe, for instance.
Yeah, those are server-based, I believe.
Okay.
Have a problem.
Okay, yeah. So
I was gonna say, like, if you have to start over, like, no one's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, there's been rumblings about that, but then I'm talking about just also with what we also actually know that what PlayStation back-to-back games could won't have any cross saves. Will that affect gamers in the long run, even though they might not think about it right now?
I mean, I think that's probably going to be one of those things that we see happen with Xbox, and then begins to catch on maybe mid-gen of this generation, because people haven't been getting that. Like, when you think about it, this is the first generation that we've even been able to do anything like that. So I don't think too many people are going to be upset. I mean, obviously there's going to be somebody, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be too many people. Y'all can.
You don't think so? You really don't?
No.
Ooh, anyone that doesn't buy their new system day one,
because
there's millions of fans that can't get a PlayStation 5, an example, day one. They can't because there aren't enough. So they have to wait. They have to wait until 2021 sometime. But Cyberpunk is coming out in November.
Right.
And they can buy it on their PlayStation 4, play it, and presumably bring that save with them to their PlayStation 5 when they get it in 2021. But now it's looking like they can't. So if you sink all these hours, 100 hours into Cyberpunk, and you're
that's a
loving it,
Red game
right.
that you can look out for.
They haven't said anything
what you're
themselves,
saying.
but there are other games that have come out. Dirt has said something. I think it was Maneater that said no, where you put all this time into your game, and even Dirt, like you get a free upgrade with Dirt on the PlayStation 5. So if you buy the PlayStation 4 game and you play a whole bunch of races, you upgrade your car, whatever it is, when it's PlayStation 5 time for those gamers, they'll give you the upgraded version of the game for free, but you don't get to bring your progress with you. And that's pretty brutal. Not everyone gets their next-gen console day one, week one, month one, year one even,
Yeah,
right?
well,
So if they're playing on...
But it's pretty shitty, but that's what you buy into when you buy into the Sony ecosystem.
And compared to their competition, which would be the Xbox console only, it's not like that. So if you want to play Cyberpunk 2077 right now, but you're not able to get a next generation console for maybe a year, your best bet is to get an Xbox version of that game if you can, because when the time comes and you get your next gen console, you can bring that gigantic save game with you. Everyone that has a save game right now in The Witcher, when that game gets upgraded for next gen for free, we can all bring our saves with us on Xbox. We know it. That's how it works over here. So if some guy's 150 hours balls deep into Witcher 3 on PlayStation, does he get to play his ray traced upgraded version on PS5 with his save? Or are they going to go, sorry, bud, start the whole thing over again? To hell with your save. I think it's a bad
what
look.
do you think it's going to take for them to even be able to do that? Because I don't think that that's something that they
don't
can
have
switch
roaming
on.
It sounds like Spider-Man Miles Morales is doing it. So if you have Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS4, they are going to bring those saves forward. So if that's possible in one game, what is stopping it in these other games? I have no idea.
I think
what's
it's
crossplay. What's stopping crossplay, though?
Well,
no,
yeah,
that's
but
just cross saves. That's just bringing your saves with you.
I understand
And
that. What I'm saying is that's Sony policy. That's Sony trying to make money. That's Sony trying to force you to do what they want you to do.
So
Sony
okay,
fans do what Sony tells
how
them
does
to
it
do,
help
period.
Sony to make me restart The Witcher 3?
Okay, but hold on,
play
This,
it,
but
you
let
know?
me ask El Boogie this, and then I like this little round table thing going on.
Oh, this isn't a round table?
Yeah, this is the round table part because we're
shit.
gonna wrap this up. Do you think that because I do agree with you, El Boogie? Is this kind of like the new start of the remaster, but it's going to be a little different because they'll do some alterations to certain characters like they did with Spider-Man, things like that? Is that where you're hinting at?
No, what I'm saying is
okay.
that like Sony, like they're preventing their own crap. I think it's going to take way more people to be on board with this idea. I understand that Cyberpunk is, this huge game, but just like you said, most of the people who are going to not buy into PS5 right now aren't going to buy into PS5 for a little while. So they're probably going to be okay with just playing Cyberpunk on PS4.
What about all those people that did pre-order it day one and have got that email saying expect it in 2021? Like they are an early adopter, right?
And the whole time Microsoft could be advertising to them, making them want to move over.
Right. I'm saying there's not going to be enough people to make Sony change their mind.
That's if it's a policy thing. We're not sure. If it's an actual tech issue that is getting in the way.
And I give
it's a tech issue. They don't have roaming profiles. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's because anybody knows what Active Directory is? Anybody know how that works?
I got the server degree, but
all right.
No, I don't know what the hell that is. Talk to me. Tell me what we know. Shut up, Slayer.
What the?
Okay. So
because you said everybody should know that. I don't have no degree into that type of.
Everybody probably doesn't know that.
Oh, I thought you said everybody should know that. I thought you was gonna say
shut up, Mega.
Oh,
so
damn.
Active Directory is basically you have a profile in the domain, and no matter where you sign in, no matter what machine you sign in, your profile and everything saved in it goes with you. That has been implemented since day one. The problem is Sony does not have roaming profiles. This is why it's never been you could carry your save with you. It's never been that way. The reason why they doing it for Spider-Man because Insomniac is taking it upon themselves to implement some kind of roaming profile for you. And it's not really a roaming profile. It's more like connecting your profile to the save and then basically moving it over to whatever the new
Or they just
save.
put it up in the cloud and they're only making that solution for that one game.
Right.
See, I'm gonna give an
similar to
example.
Destiny.
I'm gonna give an example of what he's talking about. See, have you ever bought a game on Xbox where you bought it on disc and then all of a sudden it was on sale digitally, and so you buy the digital version, and so you don't need the disc anymore, and you don't have to re-download the game. You notice that, right? But on PlayStation, often you do, because on PlayStation the games, let's say Uncharted 4. Okay, the digital version and the disc version are two separate SKUs. Not exactly, but functionally they are. So if you buy the digital version of a game that you already had on disc, you got to re-download the whole game. So it's the same thing with next gen and this gen. Okay, it's two versions, and there's nothing in the system that lets them say it's the same one, like PK was explaining. So if you've seen that it works on Spider-Man or any other game in the future, it's because the developer expressly put support in the game. So what's probably happening is they're uploading your save file into the cloud, right? And then when you log in with that same PlayStation login on your new system, it's the game that goes, oh, that's that same guy. Let me download his save, and then everything you had is still there. But not every developer is going to sit there and do that. It's time and money. It's just not a thing. And meanwhile, with Microsoft, it's automatic. And PlayStation has cloud saves, but it's still not going to work that way because of the way they do it, like PK explained.
Well, they can implement it, but
they can implement it, but they're not gonna. You see how Sony does when it comes to online. Except now with these Microsoft servers, maybe they want to wise up. But and even then, to like change your name is a big risk. You might lose a lot of stuff, because their servers just barely work.
Yeah,
the way they are, and they don't want to mess
some of that
up.
is because Sony has to pay for their servers. You know what I mean? Like Microsoft has their own servers, which Sony uses a lot of Azure, but
yeah,
I'll make sure they have the latest and greatest.
Let me also,
and then the whole thing's a house of cards. They can just break any time. So
let me make a point too. Also, is let me give a big shout out to Optic Calibru that's out there, that's on Twitch, that's listening. Appreciate the people that's on Twitch that's listening. He made a point of saying, he says, as an Xbox player, I won't be buying a Series X until my one stops working. There's gonna be PlayStation fans that's gonna be just like that.
Yeah.
They're not. That's something that I've said last year. Is that I'm like, PlayStation's gonna put themselves in a real crazy situation. And I understand at that time when they lied and said that they weren't they believed the generations. That this is why they had to make that move, because they don't want to have PlayStation 4 fans, as many as they have, to stick with the PlayStation 4, because that's exactly what happened with the Xbox One, with the Xbox 360 community, because there were some people who's like, look, man, these games, they look a tad bit better, but they don't look that much better for me to go ahead and spend $500 for a new console. And that's exactly what the PlayStation community is going to be. Just like as you heard from somebody who's an Xbox fan, is like, look, I got a Series S or I got an Xbox One S or X, and I'm cool with this right now until this damn thing malfunctions. So, again, there's so many factors with this, is that with this cross-save stuff, if you're going to make that switch and trade in, because you got to put that in consideration. People are going to trade in their only console to go into the next gen, and if they can't say, and if those cross-gen saves aren't going to happen with those older games, that's going to piss off a lot of people, man.
Oh, it's lame. This is the first gen we're coming into where backwards compatibility with the generation prior to it is supposed to be ubiquitous. Sony's going to be a little bit late. They're not doing 4,000 games day one. People are running with that. It's going to be 100. They've already told you that, 100. But either way, it's being pushed. And this just highlights more how Sony's backwards compatibility is half-baked at best compared to what Xbox is offering.
Right. So
compared to the competition, it's weak. I think it will affect people's purchasing decisions, especially those guys that have an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. Are you going to get Cyberpunk on your Xbox where your save is coming with you for when you make the jump? Or are you going to get it on your PlayStation 4 where it might not? Like, there was that as well, the cost. But like, there's a lot of people that are going to get in a little bit later. They play these games for a long time, and if they aren't for sure bringing their save games with them, what does it matter if they get to restart it on the next gen? I don't like restarting a game almost at all, let alone 80 hours in. Oh, I'll just redo all that, no problem. Like, no, I'm just not going to play it anymore. And I think there's a lot of people doing that.
I wouldn't
So
have.
this is
I
not
wouldn't.
as
I
good
wouldn't
at
have
all.
beaten the Witcher if I had to start over.
Oh,
It
that's
took,
right.
it took me 3.5 years to beat The Witcher.
I've heard enough
Wow.
stories of guys where they put in 60 hours, they loved the game, then they stepped away for whatever reason.
Well,
They
because it
want
was
to
so
come
buggy.
back and play it. Like,
it was so
well,
buggy.
it was
yeah.
either buggy or
Yeah.
they just got into something else, or they were waiting for an update, whatever. They just
Right.
stepped away and they want to go back. But like any giant RPG with story, you're not sure why you're wearing the gear you are, what you were grinding towards, where you are, why you're doing anything. You just feel very disconnected. So a lot of people, I'll just restart it. But
Right.
that's 60 hours, and I'm not going to do it again.
You're talking
So
about
they
a
end up
game
just
that's
not
going to.
playing.
If you play The Witcher, and I mean, if you just slash through the side missions and things that's very important within the game, that game is still going to be 200-300 hours of gameplay.
And that's insane.
And
So
that's
if you're halfway through,
right,
you-
right,
on
yeah.
one console, the Xbox brand, you're guaranteed to bring your saves with you
Right.
when you upgrade, whenever that is. It's your choice. Whereas on PlayStation, at least currently, it's looking more and more like that's not going to happen. You don't get to bring your save. You can play that game from the beginning again. That's not true backwards compatibility. That's garbage, really. That's half-assed, and that's as much as I can give it.
Yeah, and all these little things add up, or you don't have backwards compatibility the way you really want it, your saves, the price of the game to a small degree, but that adds up. It's all these, and it'll be hard to get the system. There's concerns about overheating or whatever. This could be a snowball effect of a lot of things that's going to cost Sony sales.
Well, this is why
Especially early on.
That's why I was asking El Boogie, was that because I don't know if she understood what I was meaning by what my point with them trying to bring these new versions of remasters, but they'll still call them enhancements. You know what I'm saying? Where they could get away with charging you $50 to $60 to $70 because they altered something with an older game. Like, for instance, let's say that they want to throw in Uncharted 4, right? And then they're saying it's an Uncharted and then that Uncharted expansion. Like, they throw them two together, and then because the actor is supposed to be the Spider-Man, the guy that plays Spider-Man, the kid that plays Spider-Man, like, they change his face, and then that gives them validation to say, well, we really enhanced this game for you to feel like, yo, this is it right here, $70 right here for you, and your cross saves can be switched over. They could actually put their cross saves under a paywall if they want to. That's kind of how, like, I see how they're playing hardball. I don't know. If y'all disagree with me, let me know.
They're trying to sell your save to you, and when that comes out later, Sony style, where that's their plan, but we don't hear about it until it's essentially implemented and happening.
Right.
Then, man, they call me so shady. That is the shady of all time.
That's way
you
beyond
can't
you, Jack.
sell gamers their access to their saves. Who the fuck do they think they are? Nintendo?
No,
it's not happening. Sony,
bro. There's Sony.
That is way too much ego on Sony's end.
Sony has already been throwing a lot of ego. I just think that's what they're going to do, man. But anyway, this is a great discussion. Any last points before we get out of here? Okay. All right. So, wow. You know what I'm saying? This is great. You guys got quiet on me. That's fantastic. Well, no, you know what? Look, there's two more topics that we'll throw into next week. So let's go. So it's a really good thing. We had a really great discussion. I really do appreciate the guests stopping by. So let me go first. Ladies first, of course. El Boogie, thank you for stopping by. I know that you also have other things to do. Thank you. I hope this isn't the last time that you stop by. That might be something I might just try to hit up all you ladies and just say, fuck it, come on over to GRG. I want to hear all y'all come over here. You know what I'm saying? Make it home sweet home. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down.
Have all y'all just come on through. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate it. So where everybody can find you one more time, and also tell us where you stream at and all of that.
All right. Thanks everybody for having me. I enjoyed it. You can catch me at lboogie0208 on Twitter, on PSN, on Xbox, on Twitch. I typically stream on the weeknights around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And you can always catch me every Saturday morning with the beautiful ladies of Grown Woman Gaming. And yeah, see you tomorrow morning, hopefully.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you'll see me. You'll see me. I ain't gonna be. I'll be gaming a little bit. I'm thinking about streaming a little bit tonight, but I ain't gonna be staying up too late. So anyway, good deal. Good deal. So Shady, thank you, brother. Of course, this definitely ain't gonna be the last time, brother. We're gonna have you back on again soon to give your expertise. You did a fantastic job tonight. Made a lot of great points. Where can they find you at, man? And your army, man. And, man, the Empire, bro. Thanks for the Empire to stopping by tonight.
It's always a pleasure, man. Thank you for extending that arm and giving me a platform to give my opinions. Hopefully I can make people laugh along the way. I always try and make just talking about games, fanboy garbage, whatever have you, a little bit entertaining. It's really easy just to read the news. I try and, feel the news at you, if you will. So I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I stepped away for 6 months. It's really, really easy to get forgotten in that time period. So just hop back in the community only, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago at most. And to have a couple people already inviting me onto their shows was great. I also had, like I mentioned at the beginning, someone in the community, man, who they're just tired of seeing me not get going. They see the potential, and they provided the equipment for me to get it doing, man.
Get started, man.
The YouTube channel is going to be going. That is just So Shady on YouTube. There's 100-odd people at ground level. If you want to get in on the beginnings of a community, and you can become someone who's just, if you're around more often, it's easier to notice when there's only a couple people, a couple dozen, if I'm lucky, it's showing up, as opposed to hopefully later on when you're growing. It's harder, man, to really stay connected with your community the bigger it gets. So ground level, if you guys want in, So Shady on YouTube. On Twitter, it is at the Sesh Empire. That is one word. Had an absolute blast tonight. Thank you so much once again. That's where you can find me. And in the future, you can find me on YouTube there. Like I said, hopefully to do it again sometime soon. Take it easy, everybody.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, man. Thank you guys so much. PK, where can they find you at, brother? I know that you got some you got some things in the working. I got lit up earlier when we were in the chat where nobody could hear us, where I made the mistake and said little. I didn't mean it. And wow,
you really shouldn't have mentioned it like that. That's not gonna go over well.
But I'm gonna say it anyway, sucker. Anyway, no, I'm just playing. No, because I didn't mean it as little. I just said it as that because I think of my channel as little because it's not anywhere near to the capacity of some of the bigger content creators out there. So, but you have some things in the works, bro. Where can everybody find you at, man? You make fantastic content, PK. Where can it get you?
So thank you, K Mega, thank you, brother, for shouting me out. They can find me on Twitter at PKX Live and in my YouTube channel at PK Entertainment Live. And let me just say, my show is 1v1, so it'd be me and one other person, and we're gonna chop it up and do what we do. So definitely come by and check it out.
No doubt, no doubt. 1v1. You know what I'm saying? You did your very first show with Don. And if anybody out there that's interested in wanting to be a part of that, hit up PK Live, PK Entertainment. Where could they find you at, on the DMs or wherever?
Yeah, okay. You can tweet me at PKX Live for sure, or I put all my gaming handles, no matter if it's Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, even Steam. You could definitely hit me up on those too.
Yeah, and then also, all you got to do is just go to the community segment on my channel, and you'll see anybody that drops a video. I'll sit there and I'll shout them out, and I'll put it up there. So PK's definitely been in there. His content is fantastic. So, all right, good deal. Six Slayer, what's going on with you, bro, man? Thank you for coming by as usual. You know what I'm saying? Where can they find you at, brother?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Six Slayer, and everywhere great games are played. I live in North America. I'm sorry, Chris. I have to get at you one last time.
Hold on. Let me post that one more time. I'm gonna put that picture up one more time. Boom. All right, here we go. All right, there we go.
North America. You see that in the bottom there is Central America, or the beginning is the Central America. Anyway, that's Social Studies 101 for you, or geography, whatever.
That includes Canada, just so he knows.
Right.
That's right, boy. You got that right. Like, shut up. Oh my God. Anyway, but yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, because I did say I was gonna stop, but I had to get at you one last time, clown boy. Anyway, but yeah, and you can catch me right here on GRG every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, God's time. I don't know about all this, central crap you're talking about. Now, on the West Coast, no. I think we call that God's time too, but that's central. We'll see about that.
Man, ain't nothing in the East and the West God's time, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's everything. That's why there's more people out in the East and West.
There's more people, which means it's much more sin going on out here. Salt of the earth. Yes, there's a lot of people out here, man. Some of the best people that you want to find. We say hello to people when we go by and walk by people. I already know. I've been out there to the West Coast. I sit there and I said hello to somebody.
Where's the sunrise? Where's the sunrise?
In the East.
All right, then.
That don't mean shit. Anyway, all right. 108. Did you go to sleep? Did them Jolly Ranchers put your ass to sleep? Put them to sleep. All right. So let me go ahead and let me do the lemon. All right. Let me go. 108 Dragons TV, baby. We rocking this motherfucker. Hey, man, we doing this stuff. All right, hey, East Coast, Brooklyn. BK, my boy King David, BK, we up in here. Brooklyn. Come shout me out. 108 Dragons TV, Brooklyn. All right, we out. If you ain't got
give it a no way.
If you ain't got no money, go talk about it. Brooklyn. BK, my PK brothers. What 108 Dragons TV. Six Flavor. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I play ball. I'm a legend. I do this. Shout out to 100. Shout out to everybody. Shout out. Brooklyn. All right. Thank you, 108. We appreciate it, brother. We out of here, man. Everybody.
That hurts for real. Holy shit.
That shit hurts my stomach. How can you East Coast motherfuckers be so good? How can y'all be talking so hard, so arrogant, so aggressive? That hurts my body. Anyway.
A little bit of payback, I guess, bro.
Oh man, payback. Everybody have a good one, man. As I always say, man, stay safe. Don't get out there and go crazy because you know what? There's so much stuff going on out here. And be respectful for one another. That's all we have to do, man. So now I'm finna start drinking. We out. Peace.
Wow, man.
All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG Podcast.